Hello, chat. Different song for tonight because I really like this music. And I don't play it on stream often. Actually, ever. I don't think I've ever played this track on stream. Get rid of the text. Let me get rid of the waiting room. And my camera should not be dying because it's actually charged this time around. Seems to be fine. Anyways, gonna be going back and trying to continue painting up all the member models that I haven't gotten to. Let me scoot this. I actually have leg room under here. I really need to rearrange my hobby desk. It is a disaster, and you guys don't see half the disaster that it is. Oh wait, I should also have food. I should keep it over here at least. I want to take a break. So I was supposed to go to a tournament today, and I woke up with the most wicked fucking headache of my entire life, and I proceeded to lurch myself over the toilet for about an hour, and when it was clear that I wasn't gonna throw up and I just felt like absolute shit, I did the thing. If any of you drink, you've probably done this before. I just curled up in the bathtub and waited until I felt better. It was pretty fucking rough. I feel better now. The headache is pretty much gone. I think I got the headache because I relapsed super hard into drinking soda again, to the point where I was drinking like 3 or 4 a day. I stopped now, and I'm gonna try to maintain that again. What did you drink? I didn't drink anything. I just felt like shit, and then I cut out soda. But I feel slightly better now. Hello, boys. This is the first model that we ended up getting done, which is Gap. This actually, because it is pissing. It's Robert. It's pissing me off. There we go. It's your boy Gap. I don't know why it's not autofocusing how I like. Do I have autofocus off actually? I have it on. It's just not working. Does this work? I try to. There we go. It's your boy Gap. It's the first one to get done. And I will try to get as many done as I can tonight. Now it's focusing correctly. It's so weird. I have to like turn it off and turn it back on. It's a painting kind of day. I think I already read that. I don't know. It's always a painting day if you have the energy for it. I don't, but I also kind of want to get my models done because I already have Dio done who yeah. Should reapply those pigments. I kind of like how they look now that they're actually dried. They looked like shit when I first put them on, but I need to put on another layer. I think it looks better than it achieved a better effect than when I tried to use the fluorescence. But I should redo this part. Because I like how it looks here, kinda, but it also kind of looks cool on its own, frankly. Yeah, I was supposed to bring Dio and the boys to a tournament today, but I felt like absolute shit. Like to the point where it's like I couldn't even get through round 1 if I really wanted to. I was just a fucking crippled corpse of a man who spent like the first 2 hours after I woke up just in the bathroom. It was fucking brutal. But next time I get a game in, I'm gonna bring all the boys in, and so they can actually properly get their first game. Also reminds me, I literally, well, I didn't paint up, but I sprayed up a fucking whole Land Raider in preparation for this list. And yes, I am using a normal Loyalist Land Raider, and I just carved up all the Aquillas and stuff because it's looted. So I'm gonna have to paint that up eventually. Because Chaos Land Raiders, for anybody who doesn't play Chaos, are only 220 points. That's pretty fucking cheap for a Land Raider. Because the Land Raider Redeemer's like 270. Or something like that. I don't know how much a Godwin pattern is on Marines. It might be cheap as well, but they're trying to make Land Raiders super cheap. And it's funny because a lot of people are assuming it's because they're going to get rid of the Land Raider. You can't get rid of the Land Raider for Chaos. It has to stay. That's the problem. Same thing with the Rhino. That being said, apparently there's leaks that, I don't know if these are like confirmed leaks or whatever, or if these are just like hearsay. Supposedly the Rhino's getting an upgraded kit for 40k. Which is kind of cool. I like that. I like how they're keeping some firstborn items and just making... Because like the Rhino, as much as people say it's shit, it's one of the most recognizable vehicles in 40k next to the Land Raider. And maybe a drop pod. But drop pod's not really a vehicle. Anyways. Oh. Wet pellet out. Oh, by the way, I'm not going to show it on stream, but I finally got my updated... And for anybody who's in the Discord, I think I would have talked about this. I finally got my updated ID. So I can now go pick up my shotgun, which I will probably try to do tomorrow. I'm going to call the store ahead of time and see if they have it, because they never called me back. So the story about this is that I moved recently. Most of you know this. I moved recently. And when I moved, God, I look so depressed in my ID. When I moved, my mic disconnected for a second. Anyways, when I moved, I forgot to update my ID because I didn't think I was going to be buying a gun this soon. Some things have changed. Now I want to get a gun. And for obvious reasons, I mean, like, it's obvious when you think about it, but nobody told me that your ID needed to be updated with your current address. I'm like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. That's my fault. So I went ahead and they allowed me to put down the down payment for the gun. And they let me pay for the background check. And I think they still ran a background check on me. I don't know. But they just can't, as far as I know, can't release the gun to me until my driver's license was updated. And since then, that's been 20 days since I paid for it. I can probably go pick it up tomorrow, but they never called me and told me that it got to the store. So I'm going to call ahead of time and then check to see if it got there before I waste my time. But it's kind of funny because I was supposed to be doing a members video this week, but I wanted to wait until I got a gun because I wanted to show it off because I'm autistic. But it seems like I might not have to wait that long. This is the only other thing is that now that we're on the topic of firearms, I don't know if the store that I buy from provides a case or not, but YouTube is paying me soon, so I might be able to just buy a case if I really need to. They have cases over there, but I don't know if they have cases that fit a KSG. They should. So that'll be fun. Because I checked earlier and YouTube was supposed to pay me today. They have not, so they're probably paying me tomorrow. Is your base supposed to be snow or is it just unpainted? It's snow. Or do you, which one do you mean? Like these? This is snow. So, like, here's the thing. I have two different kinds of snow on my bases, and I'm going to have to just redo them. So, I used to run Valhalla and Blizzard. The problem is that I don't have a model with me. I live in a desert. When Valhalla and Blizzard gets delivered over here, if it's in the heat for too long, it completely gets ruined. So, it goes from having this, like, nice, soft, fluffy texture to just being mush. So, these are going to have to get redone. That being said, this is the Vallejo snow. I really, really like how this looks because it looks rough. Like rough snow, and I really like it. Most guns come in cases. I assume so, but I know some places will just say, like, yeah, just take it in the cardboard box. That's kind of a big no-no here in California, but I also know some stores don't provide a case and they make you buy one. So I'm waiting until I end up... well, I'm going to call the shop first, and then I'm going to wait till I get YouTube money, and then if I have to, I will buy a case. I'm thinking what my base should be. I forget, are you doing Votan or are you doing something else? If you oh, wait. Someone's doing Ninja Turtle Votan. No, that's Papa John. God. I was going to say he should make sewers for his bases. That'd be super funny. But enough stalling. Let's go ahead and just start batch painting. We'll try to rechat as best as I can. Basing is honestly the part of an army that just like makes it feel complete. I really love basing, even if it's just simple stuff like I do over here, like the snow. It still makes the army feel so unique once it's done. Because even for my kill team, I didn't want them to have snow bases because this is supposed to be Dio before he's a Chaos Lord. So I made his base like a disgusting trench, grayish. I don't know if that'll help. Yeah, grayish trench warfare with barbed wire and shit on the ground. And basing honestly just like brings the model together. Sometimes you either do a base because you want it to not draw attention away from the model, or because you want it to accentuate. So like white bases for let me get the big man actually. A white base contrasts the glows and just like the yellow of the contemptor that he's standing on a lot. So your eye gets drawn to the base, but then it's all white and you're not really trying to make the shape out or the details of the base itself. And then you look up and you see, oh, he's standing on a fucking contemptor. Oh my god, the contemptor has a hole in it. What the fuck happened? Oh god, he has a multi-melta. And then you look at the rest of the model. I think I did my bases big character units. First I get an idea, like slice my warsuit off its base paint or something and slap it back on. Interesting. I'm gonna get a case once I fully finish my night. I love doing night projects. I like them and I hate them because like it's one big model and it takes forever, and when it's done you feel kind of accomplished but also not really. I don't know, it just depends. Like I literally built and painted 3 Chaos Knights. Well, one of them isn't finished, but I literally built and painted 3 Chaos Knights before I ever finished my Imperial Knight. Which is fine because I don't really play with Imperial Knights that often in my AdMech lists because they're so expensive. But with Chaos, they're kind of cheap because they don't really do much. But the despoiler, you're able to take 2 Gatling cannons, which becomes 36 heavy bolter shots, which just rip through Space Marines. Gap knows about that very well. My Black Templars all have bricks and pillars and rubble around them. The goal is to make the carrying case display a destroyed cathedral they fight in. That's what I wanted to do as well. That was until I realized how expensive my carrying case was, and that idea fell completely through. And also, I don't have room to do that for my armies. So I just leave my carrying case blank. I just cover it in stickers now. This is your local Discord rep. You will surrender your info to our Clanker Overlord. Let's ignore the fact that every single company already has all the information they would ever need on you. They're just collecting more so that way they can keep updating it. You don't have privacy. That being said, I still am against Discord collecting biometric data and your government ID on you. Let's ignore the fact that you've definitely used some sort of a service that has asked for your government ID and you never complained before that. But I'm still playing it by ear to see whether or not I'm going to stick with Discord for the group, because my main problem with it is that if a server is over 1,000 members, then it requires people to be verified. I'm verified on Discord already. I checked. I forgot I verified my account. I don't remember why. I think I joined some like official server and they required you to be verified for like a video game. I can't remember. It's because it's a thing now. I can literally go into my, or it's been a thing. I can go to my server and I can request every single person to be verified. I'm not going to, and I don't want people to have to do that if they don't want to. My account as long as it's been verified. Exactly. Oh shit, you're alive. Yeah, I was dying. It was rough. I already talked about that. I was lurched over a toilet for like 30 minutes and then I laid in my bathtub for an hour. I legitimately don't know what happened to me because I don't think I'm sick. I think I just ate something bad. Which I went to Taco Bell last night, so that's probably what happened. It's about the bloody principle. Yeah, I know it's about the principle, but the problem is that the principle doesn't matter anymore. I'm not arguing for it. I'm just saying we're well past that point. You can't argue for for privacy as an individual in the age of the internet anymore. You can literally like talk about something out loud, and then you'll get advertisements for it on like Amazon. I have a stick of RAM just lying around and didn't know. That's hilarious. Sell it. Probably get a lot of money for it. No, you won't. You need like 2 sticks. Okay. I said enough stalling, and I've stalled like 5 times already. Where's my gold? My gold is nowhere. It's right here. It's under this band. Oh. I feel like, I don't know. I don't assume I'm going to get popular enough to where the Discord will end up being over 1,000 members, but the Discord's only been open for like a few months, and it's already nearing 100 members right now, which is pretty crazy. It's also a thing of like, I don't enforce people to be members to stay in the Discord. The only thing I enforce is for people to not be assholes. So it's also like kind of overinflated. That being said, I've realized my problem with having the member rewards be what they are. I may have to restructure. Not now, but like in a year or so worth of time, depending on if this channel gets too big. I may have to restructure members rewards, depending on what they are. Because I don't know, in the insane reality that this channel ends up getting a fucking shit ton of subscribers and members, realistically, I cannot make that many nameplates, is what I've come to realize. Right now I can, because it's only like it's like 16 people in Warpsmith and like 20 something in Chosen. That's only 36 nameplates right now. That's fine. I can do that. There's also the fact that Discord gets hacked multiple times. It's like having a SIG P320 with a faulty trigger. Yeah, but everything that you've ever put your data into has been hacked once or twice. Literally everything. It's just whether or not it gets reported on. Your information is not safe if it's stored in a database ever. That's just a fact. Once again, I'm not trying to argue with something. I'm just trying to tell you the reality of the world. No information that you have out there is safe. And don't get me started on fucking data collection service. Fucking what's it called? Like that's why I use throwaways. You can use a throwaway all you want. Eventually, they will be able to track you down to where you are, even just like based off of IP or something. Once again, nothing is safe. Nothing is sacred. You already saw, but thoughts on the new AdMech minis? Well, aside from the big lady with the fat ass from Robots, the hit movie Robots, I don't know how I necessarily feel about the Histari, which is the new Skitarii heavy weapons teams, because I'm in like 2 minds of it. One is the fact that one of the weapons they get is eradication beamers, which are not good at all. It's a very swingy weapon that can kill Marines and can kill Terminators, but it's still incredibly swingy. And my other problem is that their only other weapon is a neutron laser, which AdMech historically have always been good at just killing vehicles anyways. I think we need... So, like, what it does is that it opens up... It opens up your onagers to be able to take the Phosphor Blaster, which is 12 shots, twin-linked, and you can get reroll hit rolls from Call. So you end up having a heavy bolter that just shreds through entire squads of Marines, and it ignores cover. And it's winning on 3s. And it frees up that slot so that way you can have a semi-mobile heavy weapons team just running around the board and just sniping out tanks. And it's also, you could do some strat reserve bullshit, like how people do with Centurions. I say people, I just mean Paul. How people do with Centurions, where you just come out of strategic reserves and just get a tiny little flank and just snipe out a vehicle. But because it's a heavy weapons team and not the heavy weapon itself, it's going to lose a lot of power. My worry is that the neutron lasers that they have are going to be like normal las cannons rather than the beasts that they are. But you can take them in squads of like, what is it, squads of 10? It entirely falls into how expensive they're going to be. If they're more expensive than breachers, they're never going to be used. Because breachers can already get reroll hit rolls by themselves, and they're already able to shred everything that runs into them, and they're tanky. If they're cheaper than breachers, and even cheaper than destroyers, I think they'll have a place in the game. Because it's the fact that you can take 10 of them, which is crazy. So you can have 10 las cannons shooting at a vehicle. That's wild, for AdMech specifically. And because they count as battle line, if you put them in aggressor imperative, they end up boosting the AP of their guns because they're just... oh no, they're not going to be battle line, I forget. I see Skatari robes and I think they're going to be battle line. Why does she need all that? What is stored in there? Data, brother. Data. That's what's stored in there. I don't know what they're feeding the girls on Agrippina, but whatever they're feeding, fucking keep feeding it to them. It's so funny how everyone's immediately like, oh, they like each other. It's like, no, they fucking hate each other. As a matter of fact, they're completely opposed to one another. I'm really glad AdMech is getting another character. I really hope she functions like Call, where she doesn't lead a unit. I like how Call works, where he's able to just, like, roam around. That's fun. I hope she does the same thing. I kind of like having the old feeling of, like, previous editions where characters aren't attached to units and they're just buffing machines that can stay near whatever unit they want. I really preferred how that used to be back then. Because now we have attached units, which is easier, but also you're not able to do funny things like or units, yeah. You're not able to do funny things like how are you able to do 9th edition, where you could just like have a ancient stacked up with a bunch of bikes and just give them extra OC and let them pop off one extra attack and shit like that. It was fun. I also miss heavy quotations. I miss Chapter Master because it would just give you full rerolls, but we have Oath of Moment, which is just better, and it doesn't cost points. Yeah, I miss Aura units. I miss, I've been over this 1,000 times. I miss 9th edition. I'm glad 10th is easier for some people, but also fuck those people. I will continue to say that until the end of time. Yeah, your named character gives the -1 command point cost to stratagems. Named character. That's a fucking captain ability. Mars be the type of planet. Mars be the type of planet that gives lone operative to people who go there. What the fuck does that mean? What is Blood yapping about? I'm starting to feel your sentiment of I can't fuck people. I can't learn 10th people. Yes, exactly. I can't read right now. Holy shit, I'm dying. The entirety of... Who am I painting? Oh, I'm painting up. The entire point of this edition was to make it so that way people who couldn't learn the last edition actually are... Also, I'm not in frame at all. Let me move my fucking camera. The entire point of this edition was to make sure that people who felt the last edition was too complicated to learn are able to learn it. And they're still not learning it. So fuck those people. I hate them. My game became less complex because of you have the reading comprehension of a fucking slice of wet bread. And we have those people at the shop. Also, you're one of those people. Oh, my custodian's comment. I hope my comment didn't come if it's rude. I'm gonna be real with you. I read like halfway through, and then I realized you wrote a dissertation, and my attention span went away because I just made a video, and I did not want to read that. No, that's fine. I already said it. There's only one person who was a coward who deleted their hate comment. It's actually Ursula's Creed ability. Ursula Creed, the Castellan of not Cadia. Her thing is just Captain fucking Cheapin, what's it called? Stratagems? That's so dumb. I hate that. No, your comment did not come off as rude. I just didn't read it. I don't want to read. I want AI to feed me misinformation. I think I've already been over this. AI for generative stuff and for like actual work is horrendous. I miss the idea of when it used to be a tool to just like do semi, like not. I don't even want to say semi monotonous stuff because like we shouldn't be trusting a algorithm to do work for us, but just like I don't know, I miss like Siri. I guess I miss having AI being the idea of like being an advanced Siri, of being like a personal assistant rather than someone who's actually supposed to do work for you. I feel like if they just maintained that, it would have grown steadily and would have grown for the better rather than what it became now, where thank God the bubble is apparently popping, or it's going to at some point. I wanted Halo AI. I didn't want fucking your weird dystopian bullshit. I was never really a person who ever said AI was a good idea, because they didn't even wait to start making it the generative AI stuff. They didn't even wait. They just started doing that shit instantly. Oh, let me loop the music before I forget. Hey, AI can run these numbers and files and provide a pattern. Yeah, basically. The unit she can attach to can be affected by 2 orders. She can go through 4 orders depending on attachment. So something. I guess. I also just don't like how she looks, but I also don't play guard, so my opinion on that is invalid because I just don't like guard. I've tried so hard to get into guard, but I already play a horde army. And I tried playing Skaven, who I still really like Skaven, but painting that many models is just not fucking happening. To be fair, I think the language and generative models can be useful. They just need to source the data ethically. There's no such thing as sourcing things ethically anymore, brother. That's the problem. It's all just going to be stealing stuff because things out there are not going to be... I love Trader Guard more. That's crazy. They're not an army. Back to the depths. Go join the Eldar Exodite fans. Looking through the Crucible of Champions thing, I can give a Librarian and Arthesium, Librarian Apothecary is possible now? Yeah, it is. Do you want to know what my favorite thing about, what's it called? Crucible of Champions is? I can give a, what's it called? I can't remember the name of them. I can give a, Lord Discordant the Axe of Dismemberment, which is Precision and Devastating Wounds, 6 attacks, Strength 6, AP 2 AP minus 2, damage 2, and then I could give him +1 to wound, and just jet him into a character and just instantly murder him. Admech, I can make a Skitarii Marshal give what's it called? Rustalkers reroll hit rolls, which Rustalkers get precision on all their guns, all their melee weapons. And apparently you can run 3 of them. I really hope... It's not going to, because I already know it's not. I really hope Crucible Champion stays in some form in the next edition. Because apparently the next edition codex has already been leaked somewhat, and it's literally 10.5, which everybody already knew was going to be. So I at least hope for the rest of 11th the rest of 11th edition we get to keep Crucible of Champions in some form. Obviously not for match play, but I don't like playing match play. I want to play funny shit. My opinion on this is the dual pistols are the command rods, and her face doesn't look pretty. She's a grizzled war veteran, so well, her face doesn't look pretty because GW doesn't know how to make women. That's why Sisters of Silence look good, because they're bald and their faces are covered. Here you go, he's over here. For anyone who's wondering, by the way, this is the music that I would play when I ran World of Darkness with my buds. And if I run a World of Darkness campaign with people in the Discord, I might bring the song back because I really like it. I'm really feeling the desire to run a roleplay heavy game. I'm saying in this case it doesn't hinder her model much. Gotcha. I'm just at that point where I 3D print almost everything, so I just run proxies. I remember I was going to Hobby Lobby for some reason. Alright, I was going to buy another mat, because my mat's all, like, dirty and gunked up by super glue. But honestly, I don't even, like, use the mat to, like, actually do anything at this point. So I don't really see a reason to get a new one. I really want to get back into painting Trench Crusade stuff, but I haven't played a game in forever, so I don't feel a desire to do it. That being said, I have a whole STL collection of Cossacks for Trench Crusade, and I kind of want to paint those, but I don't know how I would. Aside from painting them, how the artwork looks. I feel Trench is dying, to be honest. It's not dying. It's just that it's not as popular. Because there's places that have like Trench Crusade tournaments, heavy quotations tournaments, like game nights. It depends on your area. For me, my area only likes Warhammer, and my shop heavily promotes D&D. And they're trying to get people to do Star Wars Legion, which, by the way, I may have, for anybody who isn't in the Discord, may have made a mistake. The only reason I bought it is because it's the new starter set. Because it's a new edition. That's the only reason I bought it. Yeah, I bought it. You would know if you were in the Discord. Nerd. But yeah, I bought it. I literally looked up because I know Legion got bought up by another company, and I literally looked it up. I'm like, who owns Star Wars Legion now? And it said Atomic Mass Games, and I looked and I was like, okay, yep, there's the branding, Atomic Mass Games. This is the new edition, I guess. I'm gonna go ahead and buy that because I already have the Mandalorian model. Who I think he's a mercenary, so I can run him an Empire if I wanted to. I don't know if I would, for just, like, story reasons, but that'd be fun. Because I'm going to play Empire. And I'm probably going to have to 3D proxy a lot of things, because, like, there's that troop transport. Admiral Thrawn is not a character. Who gives a shit? I'm going to be honest, I don't like Thrawn. I don't think I've ever liked Thrawn. I don't like Thrawn for two reasons. The first reason is that his existence confirms the existence of the Yuzong Vong, and I don't like the Yuzong Vong at all. I think they're the stupidest thing to be ever put into Star Wars, and I'm saying that above, like, Disney shit. I think the Yuzong Vong were terrible. I also don't like him because, his character was officially introduced in Rebels. I don't like Rebels. And then his character was introduced in the Ahsoka show. I also don't like the Ahsoka show. His character is getting trapped in media that I have zero interest in. And his character isn't particularly interesting to me. Like, I'm into, like, because, like, he kind of fits this metric. I'm into, like, warrior philosopher characters who care a lot more about not a lot more about, but care as much about like wisdom and, like, mental fortitude as much as they do about their own strength. And I'm pretty sure the person who fits that meld more is the same dude in the Ahsoka show, the big old guy who is now dead, and he's going to be played by the Hound from Game of Thrones. I forget his name. Starts with, like, a B. Oh my god, it's not Bran, it's something else. I forget his name in the show. But he fits that meld more, and also, I don't know how to... I don't know how to say this without being mean. Thrawn just looks fat in the entire show. Which is funny because Thrawn in most media is shown off to be, like, slim. Not, like, skinny, but just, like, built. Are the Yuzong Vong like the Drukhari if they were ugly? Basically. They're like the Drukhari if there was literally no writing done for them. The actor they got for Thrawn, we're hitting, like, the Boba Fett syndrome, where he looks too fat for his role, and I am going to be an asshole about that. I will stand by that. Thrawn, from my understanding, is, like, fit. Like, if he's not commanding shit, he's, like, working out usually. Am I wrong about that? The reason why Yuzong Vong exists because Palpatine was building 2 Death Stars to make sense. But that's still fucking stupid. Because then you're making Palpatine the good guy. That's why I don't like the Yuzong Vong. I like Palpatine making the Death Stars because he was just straight up fucking evil. I don't like Palpatine because, oh, he was doing it for a higher purpose to destroy this race that was coming to tear up the entire galaxy. Fuck that. Yeah, he works out for the purpose of keeping his mind and body strong. It was the same thing like Tarkin did. Because Tarkin was also like that. I fucking love Tarkin, by the way. He's such an evil fucking bastard. Tarkin, Krennic. Krennic is, like, a semi, like, tragic character, but he's still a psychopath. So you can't really, you can't really, how do I describe this? You can't really empathize with him fully or justify him. Okay, no, this is the wrong way. You can't justify him, but you can empathize with him. Especially with him and his beef with Tarkin. And especially in Rogue One, was that we stand here at the midst of my achievement, not yours. Also, the actor they got for Krennic is so just fucking superb. Yeah, fucking Calkite. It's funny. Andor is like is genuinely a very good show. Mandalorian is still my favorite. I love space westerns, which is funny because I should watch Cowboy Bebop, but I also I don't care that much. Yeah, I saw that one where Tarkin daydreams about stabbing the crew. Damn, bro, get your autocorrect to work. Holy shit. Yeah, Andor was a very good show. I really, really liked Andor. Still though, like Mandalorian more. Even season 3, I liked season 3 because of the Siege of Mandalore, not particularly everything else that happened in between. I am gonna go watch the Mandalorian movie, even if I'm gonna end up going by myself. Because one, none of my friends are into Star Wars enough to where I would go watch it with them, and two, I don't want to go with people to the theater. I hate going to the theaters with people. You aren't a fan of Jack Black? The Jack Black fucking Jack Black just like fucking hit me over the head with a brick when it, so like Lizzo is a person too, I guess. I didn't know about that. I don't know who Lizzo is. I'm gonna be real. If it wasn't fucking obvious, but seeing Jack Black, I'm like, Jack Black is in Star Wars. This is like Jack Black is officially in Star Wars. Oh, he was a fucking Imperial Admiral. This guy killed people. Oh, Jesus Christ. Didn't season 2 lose the plot? Season 2 didn't lose the plot as much as season 3 was losing the plot. Season 2, yeah, Lizzo is a person. I literally don't know who Lizzo is at all. I think she's a singer. I have no idea. Because, like, my friend pointed that out to me, like, yeah, isn't Lizzo in there? I'm like, who the fuck is Lizzo? Yeah, seeing Jack Black was a bit of whiplash. But no, season 2, it didn't necessarily lose the plot of the show. It's the, Dave Filoni got his hands on another show, so we gotta have Ahsoka in there somewhere, or one of his favorite characters. Who, I like Dave Filoni, he's done a lot for Star Wars, but it's very clear that, he plays favorites intensely, because guess who's in guess who's in the Mando movie? That's right, it's your boy Dave Filoni's OC, the dude with the hat. He's gonna be in there, as far as I remember. That's what's happening. Jack Black will forever manifest in my mind as I am Steve. You sure, bud? He's because you're fucking young and you don't know actual good movies. Jack Black forever in my mind is always just School of Rock or like Kung Fu Panda. OT Commandos theme. Yeah. I love Mandalorians. They're my favorite thing. They're my favorite thing in Star Wars. Which is why like I made it a hard rule for like my players. If we ever do Star Wars, none of you are allowed to play Mandalorians because that's my favorite thing about Star Wars and I don't want you guys fucking it up. Because you're gonna get the entire idea of just like, because Mandalorians are complicated, especially now. Mandalorians were complicated to begin with, which is hilarious because you have a group of people who are entirely dedicated to war and fighting, and they're somehow complex, and they're complex because of what's it called? So there's like the original Mandalorians who wanted to go out and fuck up the world and go beat up Jedi. Then you have the Have you heard of Star Wars and Star Wars? No. Then you have... I have no idea what that is. Like, Satine's reign over Mandalore, which are, like, peaceful people. Heavy quotations peaceful, but they're also just, like, way more corrupt. Not to say that Mandalorians weren't corrupt to begin with. And then you get the Children of the Watch. Well, I guess before that, you had the Death Watch, who themselves were, like, a radicalized version of the Mandalorians of old. And then you get the Children of the Watch, who are by far my favorite addition to Mandalorian culture, because their entire society is very cult-like, and also to other Mandalorians, they're just weird, which makes it so funny. Because I only have like one person in my friend group who like knows Star Wars, and I could maybe trust him to be Mandalorian, but I don't want to. But yeah, I love the armor as well. The Mandalorian lore gets more complex if you go to Legends. Yeah, I know. There's also like that weird fucking Forge Fiend mount that Mandalore the Great had, which is like, it has like 8 fucking gun barrels sticking out of its face or something. It looks like something out of fucking Chainsaw Man. Which I'm pretty sure is still canon. I don't think it's in Legends fully. Bro, let your niece be autistic. You're autistic. Let people stim. I love that the Children of the Watch had followers of Maul and Vizsla in the group to show how open they are to the group. Yeah, that's the other thing that I really like about the Children of the Watch is that they basically will take anybody in. Even aliens. We saw that with Grogu. Which I really like that it's genuinely like they're actually just building a sense of a community after their entire planet got destroyed, rather than sitting around and moping about it like a certain fucking character who, God, they really fucked up. Why am I forgetting name? They really fucked up Bo-Katan. I feel like they did her super dirty. Bo was never my favorite character to begin with, but I had this conversation with my friend like 30 minutes ago before I started streaming. Terrorist Bo is best Bo, which is crazy to say. And I mean when she was a part of the Death Watch. If that didn't track in your head. Post and Empire Reign of the Galaxy is honestly such a, like the most interesting shit when it comes to Star Wars, I feel. I know someone's gonna say, what about the did the music not loop? Oh, there we go. Someone's gonna say, what about the Old Republic? Old Republic, as far as I know at this point, isn't canon anymore. And also, the Old Republic is weird. Because somebody could probably explain it to me. How did we go from the Old Republic, which seemed much more advanced than the current Republic, and we just like downgraded? What happened? I'm so confused. Star Wars are humanoid space ghosts, often appearing as gaunt skeletal figures with white hair, tattered rags, and glowing eyes. F-15, where is this coming from? What? So it's Draugr, but in space. Okay, gotcha. I love the Legends. Boba Fett, man, fucking ruled Mandalorian Legends. I don't know if I like the idea of Boba Fett being a ruler, which is kind of the problem that I have a little bit with Book of Boba Fett. Book of Boba Fett is not great. I still enjoyed it. My main problem with Book of Boba Fett is that, like, firstly, a lot of people just seem to not hear him literally saying that he's done with bounty hunting and he wants to stop because he's trying to like find a purpose in life, and his purpose is ruling over Mos Estos. But it also kind of sucks because then you bring Mando in Book of Boba Fett, and then Boba Fett becomes his own side character in his own fucking story, which sucks. Also, they made his chest plate way too small, and it looks stupid. I was even hot on Mandalorian. I think it's really overhyped. Season 1 of Mandalorian is very good. Season 2 is okay. Season 3 could have been way better. Because it gets to a certain point where so like here's the thing, especially Mango, you're denying yourself Andor, which is incredibly fucking good. You can hate Disney, that's fine. Most people who like Star Wars do. There's still good shit, and you trying to just be bitter about it isn't gonna help. Go watch Andor. It's very good. For sure, Rogue One was still Disney era. Rogue One was fucking fantastic. Andor is fine. Andor is probably one of the best things that's come out of Disney era Star Wars. I'm being autistic. I need to keep painting. I'd really like it. I'm more of a book guy. I'm not a big book fan. I think someone asked me about the Republic Commando books. I've never read them. I'm gonna be real. The Republic Commandos are not my favorite thing about Star Wars. I like clones. I don't like clones that much. I'm an original trilogy kind of guy. I'm getting to the point where, like, I still love the original trilogy. I think it's the part of Star Wars that I'm the least interested in, but it's also the part of Star Wars that I was most exposed to when I was a kid. Which is funny because I was a kid when Clone Wars was coming out, but I never caught up to it when it was happening, and I finally binged all of Clone Wars, and I had to just stop. What's it called? I had to, like, skip over a few episodes because some of them just weren't good. Pretty much any episode with Jar Jar was, like, grueling. Jar Jar, I feel bad for him because he's a product of George Lucas trying to chase the money a little bit. And it's not his fault, but he's just insufferable to me. And I'm glad that his actor is finally getting a chance to be in an actual role. I grew up on Clone Wars and OG prequel movies, and I like all the Legends interpretation of the Clone Wars. It makes no sense. It's only 3 years long. Yeah, it's the Clone Wars was short, which is really weird in universe. It felt like it was longer, but that might have just been me. Misa is a stereotype. Jesus Christ. After the knowledge, Jar Jar came up with the term clanker. It's an OG. It's a clone OG slur. Nah, Jar Jar came up with clanker, and I'm saying that because it pisses you off. One thing that I liked about season 1 is that he actually uses all this shit. Yes, he does. That's what I really love. Is that he actually uses his entire kit when he's fighting things, which that's the part that I really love about Mandalorians. And it's also it's the thing of so like there's like what is this name? When Mace Windu kills Jango Fett, there's like I think it's either a fan animation or it's a deleted scene, I can't remember. But it's the one where when he goes to fight Jango, he disarms every single one of his weapons and then he cuts his head off. Because he knows how dangerous Mandalorians are and that they're literally a walking arsenal. Bad Batch did Torch so dirty, or Scorch. I did not watch Bad Batch. Because I've been over this. I'm not a clone fan. Clones are cool. I don't care enough to watch Bad Batch right now. Maybe eventually. Should I spoil him, chat? I don't care, but there's probably people in this chat who haven't seen Bad Batch, so don't do it. And then he sees he's carrying around his rifle and never uses it, and then it gets destroyed. Yeah. Season 2 was definitely not as good as Season 1. And Season 3 is definitely the worst season. I still like it, though. May I ask if we choose models for our names? Oh god. That's words. I gotta read those now. May I ask if we choose models for our names to go on, or you just do whatever? I do whatever. It's when I do the Kit Bash models, people can ask for shit. Because right now for Warpsmiths, I put you on a model that I actually use in game usually, which is my Terminators. And possibly other stuff. And then for Chosen, you probably are going to go on my Chosen or my Legionaries. But I like the idea of putting all my Chosen on Induct Dive because that's really funny. You know, when the anniversary happens, then people can choose whatever we're gold. Fucking, despite GW making some god-awful paints Retributor armor is the best gold that I've ever used. You got me on anything? I don't know if I put you on one of the models or if I haven't printed enough, because I have a stack of nameplates still. I've not put you on a model yet because we're still printing more Terminators. What's your opinions on the unknown region in Star Wars? Okay, F-15. This might surprise you. I don't know what any of that is, and I don't know if I care enough to look it up. What's your opinion on the unknown regions? It's unknown for a reason. It's probably it's probably it. I don't know. There's probably some crazy shit in there. I don't fucking know. I love the Tyrant Siege Terminators, but it's funny, since the start of the Heresy, the Ultramarines stole the Tyrant Terminators and have a better version of it. That's hilarious. Tyrant Terminators with Chain Fists go hard. It's great. It's funny because Chain Fists are in Legends, actually, but I don't care, because if anybody in my gaming group complains that we're using Legends stuff in a narrative game, I'm gonna go tell them to pound sand. As far as I'm concerned, nobody gives a shit. What's your thoughts on the unknown? Oh no. I'm not that versed into Star Wars. I like some things about it. I still think Star Wars is a mess, which is crazy because I play Warhammer. By the way, if you want to do bronze accents on your stuff, you should use Army Painter Red Copper. Bronze is for people who are in third place. I have gold because I'm a winner. But I'm a humble winner. That's why it's only on the trim. It's so funny because I hear Imperial Fist players use that as a joke, being like, oh, why do Iron Warriors have silver? Because gold is reserved for first place. And I'm just like, you guys wear yellow. It's not gold. Can't wait to paint these nerds. Rubrics are very annoying to paint, but when you get into a rhythm, it's so fucking easy. I would also recommend not doing the separation colors for like the little ridges on like their headgears, where it's like yellow blue or something. I would not recommend doing that. I would just recommend painting it one color or just paint it gold or something. So here, let me get one of my rubrics. They're around here somewhere, so I can show you what I'm talking about. Yeah, I saw you, the Beaky Boys. I saw you posted them. I'm pretty sure they're still in here. Yeah, they are. So this is what I did for my 2 cents. I did, like sandstone or like bone for the chassis of the bolter. I put gold for the trim. All silver because they're Iron Warriors. Iron Within, haha. And then for their headpieces, I got, I don't have it next to me right now. I don't think I do. Oh, here we go. I have a Galaxia from Turbo Dork, which is a color shift paint. And I put on the headpieces because it makes it kind of look like amethyst. And I also put it for the magazine as well. And this is just so much easier than doing blue. And because I sprayed everything silver and then I just did the trim. A Chaos Army is only as complex... Oh, hold on. I like this guy. Where is he? A Chaos Army is only as complex as you make it. Here's one of my sorcerers. He casts gun. Also, for anybody who wanted a comparison between my old Terminators and my new ones, this is a comparison. I need to develop the lore for my chapter one day. Do it. So I dropped 1,000 sun. I don't think he's damaged. He's good. I kind of want to do a video on how to do your own homebrew, because I've gotten like a few questions like that. I'm not trying to stroke my own ego, but it's not that difficult until you actually have to do it, and then it kind of gets annoying because then you run into the problem of, oh god, I have to write shit. Fuck. I don't want to do that. Why can't the lore just appear in my head? It's already in your head. You just have to write it down. Writing is, I'm going to say this right now as somebody who loves writing and has done writing in their spare time. I've not published before, fucking, for obvious reasons, but writing is fucking hard. And unless you're a freak of nature like Stephen King, who should probably be in prison at this point, but if you're a freak of nature like him, it's not going to come as naturally to you. Also, he did like ludicrous amounts of cocaine, which probably helped. Yeah, I want to do a how to make your own homebrew video at some point. Oh god, words. I know I'm going to use a crucible character thing to make a champion. I've been watching videos from people like Stars Anonymous to get some ideas of backstories. Trying to come up with names better than kill shit murder for my Chaos Space streams is difficult now. So, I would say for that, are you trying to come up with names or titles? Because those are two different things. Because I struggle with titles. Names come a bit more naturally to me, but that's just because, like, a name is literally just supposed to give a vibe. Or you could make the name into a joke that only you know about. Which is why Diodium is called what he is, because his name translates to God Hates Me. I've never seen Iron Hands Chaos Marine Warband except for Iron Warriors. Well, the difference between, Iron Hands and Iron Warriors is that Iron Warriors actually get something done, and they actually are relevant. Iron Hands, or not. It's very easy to say mostly names. I feel like, I feel all the real dope ones are already taken in canon. Not really. I don't want to say some stupid shit like you just gotta commit, because coming up with a name can be difficult. This would be like, and this is the thing that I'm going to talk about in the Captain Vancock. Jesus Christ. Oh no, Captain Vancock. Is this supposed to be Vancock? And this is something that I'm gonna talk about I'm gonna make a video about it one day when I do the how to make your homebrew video. Is like, if you want to, you can technically use AI and ask it questions and stuff. Because as much as I don't think that you really should rely on it, it's more or less the same idea of just like bouncing your ideas back and forth between another person. Like, programmers use this idea, right? I forget what it's called. It's but programmers have this idea of like, you have an object, you set that object in front of you, and you explain to it your code, and then you try to figure out and like as you explain things out loud, you start to see where like your code is failing. There's a word for it. I don't remember what it is. Just trying to have a conversation and explain stuff to somebody is incredibly useful. I just rolled from the back of my codex. Jesus Christ, it's just a bad idea. What is his name? Is Van Gogh? But it's difficult to do that when you don't have an actual person to talk to. That's why I'm saying, like, at your own risk. It's not even necessarily a risk because it's just homebrew fun shit. But like at your own, like, depending on your heavy quotations morals or your personal feelings on AI, you can or cannot use it. It's not gonna harm anybody at the end of the day because it's just for your own guys and it's not canon. It's not like you're making money off of it. And it's not like you're harming anybody by using it for that explicit case, at the very least. Because you're not using it to generate art. You're not using it to make content that you're gonna sell, as far as I'm concerned. So it basically just boils down to, do you want to use it, yes or no? Do you ever think that the Iron Hands could potentially... No. The Iron Hands are just peak Imperium, they're assholes. And they're not even, like, interesting, like AdMech. Iron Hands have zero relevance in 40k lore. I don't even know if they have any relevance in the Heresy lore. Well, we know Iron Warriors ripped off the two super soldiers of the Imperium, the Thunder Legion. The Iron Warriors. Yes, I'm a huge Thunder Warrior stan. Glory to the original fourth. Hear me out. No. Mango, I think you just like old shit. I'm gonna be real with you. I think you just like old stuff. Oh, by the way, Thunder Warriors had like Primarchs, but they're not like actual Primarchs. They were just the leaders of the legions. Fun fact, if you didn't know. I'm too old for this shit. I'm old. Oh, I like old shit too. It depends. I'm not a fan of Thunder Warriors. I think Thunder Warriors are dumb. In the realm of like people wanting them to be a thing in current 40k, it's like I know they're not all gone, or they didn't all die out instantly, and also there's one in Trajan's Vault. But it's just more of the fact of like bring back the Thunder Warriors into 40k. Like, no. Maybe make it like an off faction for like Unification War Terra shit in Horus Heresy, and that's about it. I don't even for credit, but they're still alive due to Eric Tyrannus. I don't know what any of that is. I'm not into Thunder Warrior lore, bro. I'm just gonna be real with you. I like your funny words, Magic Man. His name is Eric. Frauds don't deserve models. They had a book in the Horus Heresy where a couple of them were alive. Yeah, I know. There was like a coup on the palace as well, which fucking failed. Fucking shocker, who would have seen that coming? Do you like bowling? He looks someone who likes bowling. I love Rem. He's so funny. Fun fact, Mirage in Deadlock likes bowling. And so there's Shiv. So there's a potential that after the ritual, Shiv, Graves, Mirage, and Rem all go bowling. They're also killing Space Marines 4-1 against the Warhounds. Yeah, and then the Custodians showed up. Who were literally made to kill Marines. This is my problem with Thunder Warriors, and my problem with people being like, oh, but they're so strong. It's like, yes, Thunder Warriors are strong in the same sense. German's my favorite character in Deadlock. That's so real, bro. Thunder Warriors are strong compared to Space Marines in the same sense that a chimpanzee is strong against a human. Yes, in a one-on-one fight without any sort of like planning, a chimpanzee is gonna fucking kill a human. Space Marines are not. Well, I mean, first off, they are, but Space Marines are not fucking running over and just punching a Thunder Warrior. Spoilers, they are because they're stupid. You're gonna be shooting at shit. It's the same concept as like Ogryn are actually as strong as Space Marines. Like, yes, they are. You're not gonna fucking fight an Ogryn bare-fisted. You're gonna shoot him in the face with a bolter and kill them. The Thunder Warriors died out for a very explicit reason. They couldn't fucking hang, and that's the truth. I love Thunder Warriors more. That's fine. I'm just saying that there's people who argue that statement, which is insane to me. Because first off, you're getting into the power scaling thing, which, like, I fucking hate that, because power scalers are fucking losers, honestly. According to the power scaling fucking wiki, like, a fucking My Little Pony characters are, like, as strong as Primarchs. Or some shit like that. Also, I'm pretty sure Thunder Warriors had, like, the replicant issue in what's it called? Blade Runner, where, like, they had a shortened lifespan. And so if they didn't die in combat, they would just die naturally. If I remember correctly. It's also the same thing with, like, clones in Star Wars. Thunder Warriors had a higher rejection rate than the Firstborn. That's hilarious. Thunder Warriors would just explode. That's the best Thunder Warriors lore I've heard in my entire life. But Dio, my favorite character, has a niche ability called Kill Everything Hater, which kills everything, including your favorite character. God. Every fucking power scaler argument, you know what power scaling is? Power scaling is the kids at the playground who never actually got people to be friends with them. You're playing fucking whatever make believe or whatever, you're playing with toys with a kid, and he's just like, I'm gonna beat you with my Iron Man. No, my fucking John Cena has a fucking anti-Iron Man shield. I stole that joke from Mandalore, but who gives a shit? Joke is old as fuck. They get mega cancer. If I had a shot for every single time Legion got mega cancer, I'd probably have a wasting disease right now. Call me the Emperor's Children. Sometimes their body crude augmentations, just the time they explode in a shower of viscera. That's amazing. Thankfully, I don't have any people in my comments who are being jackasses about stuff like that. That being said, there was that one time when I said Lorgar bench pressed the Warhound Titan, and everyone immediately corrected me. Actually, it was Angron. I'm like, okay, cool. You guys just hate Lorgar, I guess, that much that you want to remind me that it's Angron. Okay, that's fine, but like, holy shit, I got 20 fucking comments about that. Eric fixed by making Thunder Warrior Space Marines. Fucking good for him, I guess. I don't know. Can he beat Goku? Shut the fuck up. What do you mean they come pre-built with a self-destruct button? You really have to like take a step back and just like realize how fucking wasteful the Emperor was with the shit that he was making, dude. It's insane. You might get someone seething for that. One cool power scaling guy is people who play against Homelander, because it's really funny to see him get dumped on. It really is, though. I don't like The Boys. I'm gonna say that right now. I'm on air. I think The Boys is shit. The original comic, unironically dog ass. If you like the comic, please find a shower. The show itself is just like boring and depressing. And it in my opinion, like gives little to no value for just like the superhero genre, because it's like, oh, it's supposed to be a parody or like a commentary on like if superheroes were real, they would be villains. Motherfucker, that's not the point of that's not the point of superheroes at all. The point of superheroes is that they're not real, so we can hold them to a higher standard than they're supposed to be actual heroes. Not, oh, if we put them in our world, they would be evil jackasses. Like, yeah, no fucking shit. I never liked The Boys. The Wildcrats beat Homelander. Oh, the new Superman, really great, fresh change of hope. Exactly, that's what, like, when I was young, I didn't like Superman because I thought he was boring, but that's because I was young and I didn't understand what Superman was supposed to represent. Which is funny because I liked Batman, and Batman was also supposed to represent almost the same thing as Superman, just in a different way. And Batman is like, Batman and Iron Man are my like two favorite superheroes of all time, and they're both literally just rich guys who want to do what's best for the world. And I don't know much about how Tony Stark acts in the Marvel comics, but for Batman, especially in the Batman animated series and other older media, Bruce Wayne is literally using funds to try and better Gotham. But the city is just so far gone and shit that it's like putting a corpse on a band-aid, but he's still trying, even when he's not Batman. Because that's one problem that I always have with people when they're like, Batman just dresses up as a fucking dude in a costume and beats up mentally ill people. Like, no, he's actively, as Bruce Wayne, going around and trying to create welfare programs and try to better Gotham. Was The Boys comic just overly too edgy and graphic? It was just unfathomably bad. It was edgy, it was shitty writing, it was just bad. And I don't know how The Boys ever got adapted into an actual good show. If you cannot picture your Batman consoling a child, that's not Batman. Exactly. Yes, it's like The Boys comic is genuinely like fettered ass. Bold of you to say a good show. I said good in quotations. I don't know if you heard the good. I don't know if you heard the quotations. Wildcrats 100% solo. Anthony Starr, phenomenal actor, I'll say that, but I don't like The Boys. And also, Carl Urban, please. I need you in more projects. I need you to be in something other than The Boys, because you're so good in everything else that you've been in. I need another Dredd movie. I know it's too late for that, but still. Dude, Carl Urban has been in so many fucking things, dude. Or should employ Joker to alternate universe theory. What the fuck are these words? What? What? I'm not reading that. Carl Urban, please be in other stuff. It was a comic written by a guy who really hated superheroes. That's also why I don't like Alan Moore. I feel like Alan Moore doesn't understand superheroes. And every time he writes stuff for like superhero themes, it's always just dark and depressing. And I'm gonna say this right now. I don't like The Killing Joke. I think The Killing Joke is just bad. That's my hot take for the night. That's a lie. There will be more hot takes, and the hot takes will continue until morale improves. I think the Killing Joke is legitimately one of the worst things that they ever made for Batman. Yes, that is the guy who, yes, he also wrote Watchmen, and he killed Rorschach because everybody liked him. And then he was like, that's not the point! Fucking miserable ass bastard. Fuck you, Alan Moore. Really? That's my understanding. You're not a fan of the Joker? Yeah, no, I'm not. Yeah, no. I've been over this. I don't like Alan Moore. I think... So Alan Moore has, like, the Graham McNeil problem, right? Where Graham McNeil... They bring Graham McNeil in when they want to make shit dark. But Graham does it in, like, and at least, like, how do I explain this? I don't want to say a tasteful way, because he also wrote the Daemonculava. But he's not Alan Moore, where it feels like he's doing it out of genuine vitriol for whatever he's writing. It feels like Graham is just here like, okay, I'm gonna scar you. And then afterwards, we're gonna act like it never happened. Make a character named Rorschach surprised when people have a different interpretation of the character, basically. What did I miss? I'm complaining about writers. But he also wrote The Last Church. Yes, he did write The Last Church, which is good. Graham McNeil is a genuinely good writer. Alan Moore is not. I don't like Alan Moore. Alan Moore is a miserable old bastard who doesn't seem to understand the concept of joy. Graham McNeil has written so much dark and fucked up shit that I'm pretty sure he, like, I don't know, owns a fucking puppy sanctuary at this point. Because as far as I know, Graham is actually a very nice person. I could be wrong. This is just what I've been told. That he's just, like, delightful to work with. And people keep bringing him to work on stuff. He wrote for League of Legends. And he wrote for Arcane. What you think about Talos and the Night Lords trilogy? I have her varying opinions. You mean Aaron Dembski Bowden? Aaron Dembski Bowden, I think, needs a hug. I think the dude put a little bit of himself when he wrote those books, and I think he needs a hug. He also wrote parts of End in Death, which I didn't read End in Death. The problem with End in Death is that it's 3 fucking books long, and it feels like it's 3 fucking books long for what is supposed to be like the last 2 hours of the heresy, because you have to tie up all loose ends. The End in Death is not a problem with ADD as a writer. The End in Death is a problem with the heresy itself. But overall, ADB is a good writer. I just am concerned for his mental health at times. Because some of the shit Talos says, like, hurts. Especially the I wanted to be a hero. Like, that shit was painful. One moment. Yeah, his conversation with Octavia was fucking rough. That's why I used it at the end of the Night Lords video. It's also even more rough when you remember he's a fucking apothecary. Or he was, at least. Talos' entire duty was to protect other people. And try to save them. What was painful was hearing Barbara Stantiak saying he's no longer ashamed. That was his last words, right? To Polis, I think is his friend's name. I can't remember. It's the Imperial Fist. I still reserve that Dantiok is a fucking traitor. And also, he literally doomed the galaxy by bringing the Tyranids. But him being best buds with that Imperial Fist was kind of cool. Also, what did ABD do to feel like that? I don't know, dude. that shit comes like out of the soul when you write stuff like that. Like, are you like ADB? Are you okay? I made this joke in the video. Like, are you okay? We're here for you, man. I'm concerned for your mental well-being at times. F15, I read it the first time, I just didn't read it out loud. Because there's some sentences that I just should not say on stream. Sometimes I should not say things that you guys people, because I've said some shit because I didn't read it ahead of time. No, you're good. I looked at that sentence, I read it, I'm like, should I say this on stream? I don't think I should. That's a lot of sentences. That should not be said, probably. I'll let everybody else read it. People fucking typed all sorts of random insane crap before that I will not mention for fear of the autists who do not understand social cues accidentally typing it. Finish the sentence. Like, stop it. Spell iCup? No. I have that as like a soundboard. I don't know if you guys have ever seen the video of Palpatine tasing Luke Skywalker and he says spell iCup and there's a word afterwards. I have that as a soundboard, and that I'll go ahead and say this. That used to be my intro. When I would join what's it called? When I used to join my friend's Discord. But then I started up our own Discord. I'm like, I probably shouldn't have this as my intro anymore. Because he says a specific word at the end that should not be said out loud. It's a funny video. I like it. I'm allowed to like it. I'm just not allowed to say it. He says spell iCup and then word I can't say. And then he keeps tasing him and he gets base boosted. It's so funny. Just look up Palpatine spell iCup. It's so funny. Oh my god. Doing my best not to talk about Krieg. I'm gonna kill you, I swear to god. But I put a wash on my death ride. I might have fucked up. So, peeps in the chat, what do I do? What do you mean you put too much wash? So, what you should have done is that you should have probably cleared off some as much of the wash as you could while it's, if it's not dried, I mean. Spell Ligma? What? If it's not dried yet, just get your brush, clean it off, and then just try to soak up as much as you can before it stains. Also, I've had this problem with some of my washes, is that sometimes they just go bad the lower you get into... Who the hell is Ligma? Steve Jobs fucking blow you up. Thank you, CD. Who the hell is Ligma? Steve Jobs? God, man. Do I even need to do any more gold on you? Oh, yeah, over here. Oh, right, the helmet. No! You didn't go to the tournament, right? You were working or some shit, I think. I kind of feel bad. I really wanted to go, but I also, like, when the tournament's, like, the same 4 people, it gets kind of boring. When you get around to my goofy ass, may I request you do lighter blue lenses? On your anniversary model, yeah, you can request whatever the fuck you want as long as it's actually achievable. We're just recreating the ending to Watchmen. Who the hell is Ligma? Steve Jobs? That shouldn't be funny. It's not funny, actually. But it's just the inverse is so funny. I can't really do Saturdays because of my current schedule, sadly. Yeah, I'm gonna have to start making time to go to the shop on Sundays so that I can game with some of you guys. It's so fucking funny, but it's not funny. That's the problem. It's like the what is it? It's like the loudest funny type shit, where it's like it's not funny, but then someone just plays something super fucking loud and it throws you off, and it just. That meme is so old. No, it's not that old. I'll tell you what an old meme is. Fucking, I can't even think about old memes right now. I don't know. Crab Rave or something, I guess. That was like COVID era, I think. That's getting old. I still like it. No, Crab Rave was before COVID, because that was when I was back in the Siege. It's so sad that Ligma died of Steve Jobs. The hell is Ligma Steve Jobs? It's just a fucking... It's just... It's so sad that Steve Jobs died of Ligma. Who the hell is Steve Jobs? And he still does the fucking joke. This Ligma balls and then he fucking kills him. It's so fucking funny. We are not evolved as a species. I'm also sick, so everything's probably funnier, and it fucking hurts to laugh. MLG is better, God. Blood Ravens looking for it as we speak. Oh my god, my fucking chest. That shit hurts. I cannot wait to get my gun, dude. It's gonna be so fun. I'm just gonna sit here and just autistically pump it. Obviously, I'm gonna put it in a safe. Wink, wink. It's gonna be in a locked case for a while before I can end up saving up for a safe. Oh, that reminds me, I'm getting a second 3D printer most likely. One of my friends has another friend who only used it like 20 times, and he's selling it and like 6 cases of resin for like $400. Oh, and he's selling me his wash and cure station as well. So I'm gonna have to go buy like a bigger shelf. Like a sturdier shelf to put in my thing. I might have to just straight up buy like a metal table or something. I don't know. We share a collective brain cell being generous. I'm mentally 6 years old, basically. Alright, who's next? We'll do Lost. Yeah, I'm gonna have 20 Terminators. And maybe more. .6 years old, born in 2020. I've dealt with kids of the current day and age, and I'll tell you right now, they are not funny. Like, their jokes are just bad. Have you ever 3D printed a Chaos Dreadnought? A Chaos Dreadnought? No, I have 3D printed just recently. It's still in my shed. I need to go finish it. I 3D printed a Contemptor with an Iron Warrior chassis. That's about it. I need to print up 3 more of those. I've seen kids literally hit emotes. Same. I've seen kids hit emotes in real life. It's fucking hilarious. That's funny. I will stand by that. That shit's funny. I've seen a kid, because I've said this before, I work in education, so I've been at schools. I've seen a kid leaving class just hitting the gritty on his way to, like, PE or something, and it takes a lot not to laugh at that shit. Is there such a thing as a Chaos Dreadnought as a Hellbrew? Yeah, it is. Chaos Dreadnought is a Hellbrew as far as I'm concerned, unless F-15 is asking for something else. But I printed Heresy stuff. We're hitting in the greatest Ukraine library. Putin, you better be scared. There we go. The Chaos Dreadnought with the Legends. You're talking about the Heresy Dreads, then. Yes. I 3D printed a Contemptor recently. Chuck E. Cheese streaming and saying poggers? Bro, that's crazy. I'm gonna bounce to you, brother. I might see if people want a game tomorrow, but I doubt it. I kind of want to play Heresy, but nobody like has anything right now. It's just like me. I have a bunch of proxies that I can run. I still need to get all the Inducti ready. I have a list with like 40 Inducti. It's so funny. I need to get Inducti. I need to get Breachers because Breachers are fun. I need to get Special Weapons teams. Do the kids still like Speed? I've not heard a single thing about Speed in any of the areas I've been to. No. It's mostly just like Mr. Beast, I think, still. Did I ever tell you, there was like a one grade at a school who was just like they were obscenely like misbehaving. There were kids who were threatening to send each other to the Diddy party. Have I talked about that before? I feel like I have. And they knew what it meant. Like, it's not they're being dumb. They know what it meant. Children, they were I think they were third grade children, so like 8 to 7 years old, talking about the Diddy party and sending their friends to it. Overdraft, don't say that sentence because I'm not saying that out loud. That's Pim and Smiling Friends. I don't think you should say that, dude. Calm down, dude. I don't think you should say that in public. Something. I'm not reading all that. That's gonna get the stream flagged. Them damn iPhones. Yeah, brother, it's the iPhone's fault, let me tell you. It's not just the internet in general and parents being shit and giving kids unrestricted access. Bro, I didn't have internet access until I was like 12. I also bought an actual camera to use on stream, so I'm not using my phone constantly. Hopefully it works. I think it has an autofocus feature on it, so that'll be good. It's not like an expensive camera. It's like a webcam. First time access to the internet was through the Wii. Not even me, dude. I had to wait till we had like a laptop, and we didn't have one for forever. I had a Wii before I had internet. And then when I had internet, I didn't get Xbox Live till I was like going into high school. We had like shitty hotspot internet. That was brutal. How would someone get a stop it about the fucking, you mean a cylinder? By the way, it's cylinder, not rod. He specifically said cylinder. I had unrestricted access. I also lived in a cabin in the woods with 2012 satellite internet. Or 2007 satellite internet. That's crazy. I was at the Abe where we cringe as hell. Talking when I was talking Twilight LARP during recess, but we were never that bad. It's kind of funny because it's just like as like some of us get older, we find like stuff that we thought was like weird and like nerdy or like loserish to be like kind of cool now. Like I don't think many of us when we were kids would have thought, or like when we were teenagers, I guess, thought war games would have been cool, and now we're over here painting little fucking plastic doll men. Mom, they're called action figures. Fucking bro, you're painting dolls. Get over yourself. And it's fun. Who gives a shit? But I know, like for me, I always thought D&D was like weird, and now I fucking love doing D&D. Or just the idea of like roleplay stuff, not even like specifically like just combat in D&D, just like world building and interacting with characters and roleplay is so fun. Because like for me, I never could get into it, and then I'm over here playing Fallout, and I'm like visualizing a character in my head, and then I realize what tabletop RPGs are, and then I'm like, oh wait, I could literally just play the character I played in a video game if I really wanted to. Except I have more chance of interaction and more freedom, and that's fucking cool. D&D is weird. Okay, but any hobby can be weird if you're in the wrong group. Fallout 1 and New Vegas are peak. Fallout 1 is better than Fallout 2, I will give you that, because Fallout 2 is filled with fucking early 1990s pop culture references, and the only reason that and cliches, and the only reason that it's good, in my opinion, is because of Frank Horrigan. Which is also funny because, like, Fallout 3, for all the shit that it gets, it was closer to Fallout 1. New Vegas might be the most overrated game right there with Halo 3. I don't think New Vegas is overrated. I think New Vegas just has a vocal minority of a group. Because it'd be one thing if, like, New Vegas was, like, universally praised, which it's not. At least as somebody who plays Fallout. Fallout 3 had a whole vibe about it in a good way. Fallout 3, I always had a problem with it where, for me, it was, why does everything just feel like shit? Well, that's because DC was the most bombed area in the US, aside from, like, Bakersfield for some reason. I don't remember why Bakersfield got hit so much. I think there was, like, a military base. Green filter, bottom text. But I liked New Vegas a lot because it was like, yeah, it's been 200 years. Now people are trying to start reclaiming the wasteland and trying to make a home of it. It's still dangerous, but people can do it. I'll play Fallout 1 and good lord, it's a slideshow on a Chromebook. That's why you don't play shit on Chromebook, motherfucker. Open map, massive play Fallout 3 to Metro Station Landfall DCL. What the fuck are you saying? Troy, are these words? DCL full run 300 hours. Oh, and DLC. Okay. Gotcha. You can get a lot done in Fallout 3. My biggest problem with Fallout 3 was its DLC. Because you had Point Lookout, which, while fun, didn't really feel like it did much. You have the Pit DLC, which was like, okay, you have an interesting quest line going on, But then a majority of like the stuff that you get for the pit revolves around like getting the ingots, which is like not fun at all. You have Mothership Zeta, which is a really funny DLC, but it literally just exists to give you extra loot. Then you have the Operation Anchorage DLC, which is we want Call of Duty but in Fallout, and also at the end you get a bunch of loot. So basically the same thing as Mothership Zeta. And then you have was it Broken Steel, right? Which was literally necessary for you to keep playing the fucking game. And then you get to go fight the Enclave and do some cool shit. Of all the DLCs, Broken Steel was the better one. I still really like Point Lookout because I just love the vibe of it. Fallout 3 pisses me off a lot because the ending specifically screwed. Yeah, basically. Thanks, Fox. Even though you could literally go in there and do the thing yourself, you want me to die, I guess. Fucking asshole. Well, the problem with Fallout 3 is I just don't give a shit about the questline. It was the first Fallout game where I actually actively started exploring everything. Making sure you know he's immune to radiation. Yeah, it's fucked up. Also, y'all know something funny about New Vegas? I never knew Lily was a companion. Forever. I did not know Lily was a companion. I thought she just momentarily joined you in the questline for Jacobstown. I didn't realize that was an introduction for her being a companion. You can't fucking ADS, yeah. Aiming in Fallout 3 is painful. I really like Dead Money. I also like Dead Money. Did I ever beat Dead Money? I don't remember. I've beaten all the other DLCs, though. Obviously, if you couldn't tell, my favorite DLC is Honest Hearts. I like Old World Blues, specifically because of the stealth armor, because it's very cute. And I wish there was a way to keep her dialogue, even when you're not wearing her. Because I like the... Because, like, it's supposed to... First off, it's supposed to be horrifying, the fact that the armor has sentience, but I really like the dialogue where you're just... you're not idle, but just, like, nothing's going on, and she'll just randomly ask, do you like me? It's like, aw, the robot has feelings. Dead Money is about letting go of poverty, bitch. Watch this. Yeah, real, dude. I'm gonna blow Father Elijah's shit smooth off and use his fucking head to transport all this gold, motherfucker. You think I'm gonna be broke? Fuck you. And also, if you like guns, Fallout New Vegas feels like guns galore. Yeah. New Vegas gave a lot for guns. And then Fallout 4 expanded upon that, but Fallout 4 has the dissatisfaction of being, in my opinion, the worst mainline Fallout game. And I'm saying that in a world where Fallout 2 exists. And Fallout 1, because let's be real, Fallout 1 doesn't play well either. I love the stealth armor's dialogue. It's so fun. It just feels like it's not even like naive, I guess, but it's just like in the same vein of like a Halo AI, where like a new AI is just like they're very rigid in their code and what they're supposed to stand for. But then you also need to teach them like, hey, sometimes we can't do shit by the books, and we just gotta vibe with it. I really love AI and like robot companions. It's one of my favorite things in sci-fi media, which is funny because I think it's one of my only favorite things in sci-fi media. Because I'm not the biggest fan of sci-fi, despite liking Warhammer. I enjoy 4's gameplay. I think everybody likes 4's gameplay. That's the problem. 4's gameplay is decent, but its story is dog shit. 4's story is so objectively bad. And it sucks because there's so many companions who are actually genuinely interesting. Also, best companion in 4 is Kiri, because I love robot women. You ever played Soma? I do not want to play Soma because of that. One, I'm not a big fan of horror games. Uh, I played Darkwood. I couldn't finish it because at a certain point it was just like kind of draining to just play it because it really just felt like you were struggling against a game that just hated you at times. I still really love Darkwood. Are you a robosexual? I mean, technically no, because you can't really do stuff with a robot, but I do like robot characters, and I do find some robot characters to be unironically attractive. And I don't mean like 2B, because 2B is an android. That doesn't count. That being said, androids are cool, and I like androids a lot. But like actual robotic characters. I talked about this before, unless you weren't here for that. You could do it with a robot if you try hard enough. Not in current day, but sure. I mean, you can. You could probably. How about walking across America Simulator? What the fuck are you talking about? What are these fuck ass games people are giving? Was Fallout London any good? I don't. Okay. I'm gonna be real. I don't give a fuck about like all these like giant ass total conversion mods that basically act as their own game. Because the majority of them are shit. Remember Frontiers for Fallout New Vegas? Anybody remember that fucking catastrophe? Frontiers is the reason why I will never support any mods like that, because they take forever to come out. And then by the end of it, the entirety of it is constructed by probably just the worst fucking people. Fallout London, I'm told, is very okay. I have not been told it's good, and if anything, I think it's probably just as bad as 4. Death Stranding. Oh. I never had an interest in playing Death Stranding, but that's just because I really don't give a shit about what Kojima makes anymore. I'm gonna say this right now, I'm not a Kojima fan. I like Metal Gear for what it is. I don't like Metal Gear because it's a good game. And I really don't give a shit about what Kojima's making. When I heard isn't he making is he making a new game yet or no? Because Death Stranding was not like, I do not care about Death Stranding. Hey Garg, I don't care about Death Stranding. If he makes a new project that's actually like something different and semi-interesting, I'll probably play that. But he's just released Death Stranding and he's making a second one, or he made a second one. I don't know anymore, dude. And there's a character in there who's like not Solid Snake. Or is that a different game? I don't know what's going on, man. I think I have the big sad. Have you considered long-ranged artillery? I can't remember. He is making something different, I think, right? It's not just Death Stranding 3. The one thing I'll give Kojima is that, like, at least his games seemingly sell because Sony is still letting him make shit. And I don't think they're just going off of his name and heavy quotation star power because, oh, who would have seen that? Sony closed down another studio. Oh, what'd they close down? Blue Point, just the studio that's been making godly remakes game after game, and now they're just closed down for no reason. Like, cool, thanks, Sony. You're literally allergic to money. It's insane. You think for the good luck is that I'm still alive? Good. You think Sony, for being a corporation that literally lives in a borderline cyberpunk dystopian world known as Japan, would not be allergic to money, but they somehow are? Look, depression sometimes just happens. I think there's literally a word for that. I think it's literally called seasonal depression. Sometimes it hits, sometimes it doesn't. You will enjoy The Last of Us Remake 24,000 and you will buy it. No, I will not. I'm in constant agony because how my family eats up The Last of Us. I literally had a conversation. I forget if it was coworkers or whatever. But they were saying, somebody was telling me that they really liked The Last of Us show, and I looked at them and I said, okay, have you played the game? Because the first game is amazing, and you should play it. But some people just aren't into video games, and some people just want to watch shows, and that's fine, whatever. I don't agree with it, but that's also... The other thing is, like, trying to get somebody to play games when they're not a gamer is a very big buy-in, because... what's it called? You have to buy a console, and consoles aren't cheap. Comparatively to a PC, it's cheap, but it's still a couple $100 that you gotta throw at somebody. Or my lost dad, he's probably asleep. Japan is when you can walk and create electricity with your footsteps. Yeah, because that's definitely a good amount of electricity that gets generated, and it's not just some weird fad. That's probably meant to be some, like, tech demonstration, because that's all Japan does, it seems. I just typed, I'm here. Oh, okay. Garg wants you, apparently. In more ways than one, most likely. I played the remake of the first one until I got to the boss with the creepy guy, and I decided I was done after, like, 3 hours. I really like... This is my thing with The Last of Us. I like how Last of Us feels and plays. And also, I really love... I really liked the PvP stuff. It's just a goddamn shame that they never continued on with any of that. And Naughty Dog has gone from being a well-respected studio to just being Neil Druckmann's fucking vehicle for making his weird bullshit to try and get into Hollywood when nobody likes him. Oh, and then also there's a scene where Joel loses his daughter. I forget her name. She's really not that important because she's just this gets sound fucked up. Joel's daughter dying is just a catalyst, so that way he can end up liking Ellie. But there's the scene where his daughter ends up getting killed, and they're doing the motion capture and the acting for all that, and Troy Baker. There's footage of him of his previous takes where it's really fucking rough and brutal, and the amount of emotion and energy that he put into it, to the point where it was making him, like, tired. And Neil kept telling him to, like, tone it back. I'm like, what do you mean tone it back? This man watched his daughter get shot and killed right in front of him. What? I don't like Neil Druckmann. I think he's a hack. And I think The Last of Us purely works and exists because of other people's work and not his. But the problem is that he was the game director, so then when they make the second game, he's fully in charge of it, and then everything falls apart because he's a hack. Also, I don't like how when I get added on YouTube, my name is orange. I wonder if I could change that. I don't think I can. It's pissing me off, Robert. Where's my water? Ellie should have been dead for humanity. If you played the games, you would know that Ellie dying literally wouldn't have changed anything, because even the Fireflies were saying that Ellie sacrificing her life probably wouldn't create a antidote, because of how the virus, heavy quotations, virus works. Seems like a common thing. I compare him to George Lucas to a degree, honestly. I don't compare Neil to George because George was actually successful. You can talk shit about George Lucas all you want, and honestly, he probably fucking deserves it, but George set out to create his autistic fantasy land, made it profitable, and managed to sell it out for billions of dollars. What did Neil do? he walked onto a red carpet and nobody took any fucking pictures of him. Because nobody gives a shit about Neil. George is so famous that he randomly showed up in a documentary and stole the entire show. And he didn't do anything. He wasn't the focus. He was just in the background and then he left. And probably nobody could tell me what that documentary was about. Prequels were so ass. The prequels were not that bad. I'm gonna say this right now. Phantom Menace is probably... I'll be back. There's food, apparently. I will continue my autistic Spurg Lord rant in a little bit. I've returned. Shot. Yo, I said I was gonna go get food, you bastards. Pay attention. Just let me move my wet palette so you can actually see what I got. Behold. I forgot to grab a fork for some of this shit. I recognize some of the items here. One of them is cornbread. The joys of still living with your parents. You get shit like this. Forgot to grab a fork. Give me one more moment. Kyle, don't get me started on Neil deGrasse Tyson because I also do not like him. I was talking about Neil Druckmann, who was the director for Naughty Dog, and specifically for The Last of Us. Oh, hold on. There we go. Director for the Last of Us video games. I'm a dumbass. Yes, you are. No. What are your thoughts on Todd Howard? Todd has gotten to a point where it's less about video games for him and more about just like making sure that shareholders and fucking Xbox is happy. He's like so detached from video games at this point that I kind of feel bad for him, because I think that video games used to like genuinely be the thing that he looked excited for, but Moon, I'm gonna kill you. This is 11 p.m. food, yes. Well, this was done a while ago, and then my family just told me that it was done. But I also got food for myself earlier because I'm sick. Toby Fox? He exists. I don't fucking know. I don't know anything about Toby. I don't play Undertale or any of that other stuff. Toby's like a cryptid or something. I don't know. Scott Cawthon started chasing the money because it was super easy money to make. It's so detached from his own media that he ended up making that I generally don't know if he even has a fucking hand in it anymore, or if it's somebody else. And honestly, I don't fucking blame him. The lore for FNAF is so fucking convoluted and stupid that it's literally just lost all meaning. I literally had like a low pixel count scout from TF2 spinning in a T-pose explaining to me the FNAF lore, and it made more sense than ever watching somebody play the games. I was under the impression that he occasionally corrects awful things. The problem is the fact that the FNAF lore is convoluted and weird. He clearly made the other games because they were just easy money. I say easy. He still had to actually make shit, but when you have to make a story around it, which sometimes a game does, you don't need to make a story around shit, and that's okay. Sometimes the environment can just be an environment, and you could just let people theorize about shit. Because guess what fucking game does that all the time, and people give it so much praise? Fucking Dark Souls. Dark Souls has like a modicum of story to it, and then the rest of it is just people speculating. That's why fucking... I'm not trying to talk shit about Vaati. I like Vaati, but that's why Vaati has a career. Because the lore was so poorly explained and convoluted that we needed a fucking Australian to explain it to us. And I like Vaati, and I'm glad that he ended up getting success from that. But I don't like Dark Souls. Big posting type story. God. Have we seen my goat the Mimic die? I love Dark Souls lore. I don't. I think Dark Souls is shit. I liked it when I was younger and I didn't know what writing was. Because this is my problem with Dark Souls, is that Dark Souls does the thing that you're not, like, so there's like tell, don't show, and show, don't tell. Dark Souls only does tell, don't show, and that's not what you're supposed to do. Because at a certain point, not even that, because like they tell but only in bits and then they show nothing. And the stuff that they do show is not attached at all to what is being told. This problem gets so much worse in Dark Souls 3 too, because Dark Souls 3 is just blatant fan service. Which is funny because that's the game I started off playing. I played 3, I tried playing 1, 1 is just bad, I'm just gonna be real, 1 is just shit. And then I played 2, which 2 is my favorite, because 2 is detached from the mainline games, that it has its own story. Is the story good? Not particularly, but things are at least explained to you. Which is why I really like Aldia and Scholar of the First Sin and all that stuff. The conversations that Aldia have with you actually like try to give your character a path or a direction on what they should believe in, or should be, not necessarily should believe in, but like it gives you a, what's it called? It gives you a sense of direction and meaning for what the world is. And also in Dark Souls 2, guess what happens? You get to go into the past, albeit briefly, but you get to see the actual war with the giants and how everything in the world got fucked up. You get to go around to the other kingdoms and see the ruin that was brought to them by the fucking daughters of, what's it called, of the Abyss. You get to go to the Abyss and see what happened to the Ivory King. You get to go back in time and fight Sir Alon. Dark Souls 2 did everything that Dark Souls 3 that it was trying to do that was better. And it gets shit on because it's on a shitty engine, which is fine. Dark Souls 2 is better than 1 and 3 in terms of writing and story, and I stand by that. What do you think about Elden Ring? Elden Ring is okay. Elden Ring had a genuine story and a plot that you could follow, which I appreciated. My problem with Elden Ring was, my problem with Elden Ring was that Radahn was the final boss of the DLC. I don't care if that makes sense in the lore. I don't want to fucking fight Radahn. Again. I already fought him once and that was cool. Why are you spoiling his fight by making him just a bullshit DLC boss now? I literally didn't finish Shadow of the Erdtree because I learned Radahn was the final boss and I just couldn't care anymore. I don't think you can hype the video anymore. I think we're past that time. I think you can only hype it for a few days and then it stops. I like that you could get lost in Dark Souls 2. It was kind of fun. Oh yeah, pre-patch Consort Radahn was also just genuinely hell. I think he, like, broke PCs. You know what's a game that does perfect storytelling and allows you to feel like a part of the story? The new Armored Core game, which I think is 5 or 6, I can't remember. I think it's Armored Core 6, I can't remember. Armored Core was fucking fantastic playing through the entire time, and I never played an Armored Core game before then. It's 6, gotcha. Armored Core 6 was fucking fantastic. And I have a new favorite franchise that I really want more games for. I don't think we're gonna get a DLC for Armored Core 6, which is fine. I'm fine if they just go to 7, but you literally were following a storyline the entire time. There was still stuff going on around you. It was explained to you, and you also got to see it for yourself. Armored Core is just like peak anime. I'm just gonna be real. There's like tropes and shit that happen in it that are just like goofy. But it's also just a very, very fucking beautifully done and made game. To the point where the gimmick boss fight that they always do a gimmick boss fight in a Souls game. The gimmick boss fight for Armored Core 6 was better than any gimmick boss fight in every single fucking FromSoft game ever fucking made. And that was the Ice Worm fight. You have a fucking dude who is on the other side of the planet with a railgun the size of Texas, trying to snipe a fucking worm that from his vision might as well be a single fucking pixel on an 8K screen. The music goes dead quiet and you hear him say, "I won't miss," and he fucking hits that shit. Armored Core 6 was fucking fantastic. And my only regret with that game is that I didn't do all 3 endings, and I don't have a desire to. It is such a fantastic fucking game. I fought Balteus pre-nerf. And he was one of the most fucking fun and challenging boss fights I ever did in my entire life. I think Sea Spider also got nerfed. I think even fucking the Sea Armor or whatever also got nerfed. I fought all the bosses pre-nerf, and I'm glad I did that. Because the jump from doing Operation Wall Climber, where you're fighting like the Juggernaut or whatever it's called on top of the wall, which is just like the giant ramshackled fucking mech. Ooh, he was pretty difficult for people who didn't play Armored Core first. And then you fight Balteus, and it's like, okay, now you're playing Armored Core. And he just fucking beats the absolute shit out of you. He was so fucking fun. Played through all 3 endings like 2 weeks when they came out. Jesus Christ. It took me a while. I ended up doing the ending where, with, oh my god, why am I forgetting her name? The lady voice in your head, where you end up, not destroying the Rubicon, or not destroying the planet, I mean. Because, like, I was trying to go for, not necessarily the evil ending, but just, like, the corporate ending. And then the conversations between her and Rusty are like, fuck, okay. I guess I'm gonna be a fucking good guy. And that's good writing. Secret Level Episode 2. I haven't watched the Secret Level episode, and I've heard it's very good, and I don't know why I haven't fucking watched it yet. I like Walter too much. I like Walter a lot. I like all the characters in there. All the characters had such a good dialogue and were so fun. Even fucking, what's his name? With, Arquebus. Snail. I forget, the actual pilot's name. Such a fucking throw it on while you eat? No, because I'm talking in chat. I'll watch it on my own time eventually. I just haven't had time to. Literally, playing through Armored Core made me want to do Lancer. My problem with Lancer is that, there's, like, no rules for you being outside of the mech. So you can't do Titanfall shit. This Coke tastes strange. It's a small plate of food for an American. Not really. I recently 100% another Souls-like in under a week after its release, so I cannot blame anybody who grinds the fuck out of games. I've always meant to look into Lancer more. Lancer is cool. It really promotes a lot of, like, build, what's it called? Like, different types of builds for you and your mech and just making, like, crazy shit. My problem with Lancer is 2 things. 1, there's no rules for being outside of the mech. And 2, your mechs are not meant to be a character in them of themselves because you can always just swap them out. Because you have a garage of mechs, so you're never stuck with one mech. It's not like a build or a class. If you get another mech and you're able to, and you meet the license requirement, you could just get another one, and the other one stays in your garage. You could just swap to it whenever you want. Outside of combat, I mean. I would probably use Lancer for, like, the actual mech combat, and honestly, I think at that point, all the, what's it called? All the outside of mech stuff would just have to be, like, roleplay dependent. It's still an interesting system, and I would recommend you look into it. But my it's funny. Like my players probably wouldn't want to play it. Which is basically why, even though I'm gonna torture myself, I do want to do another TTRPG session or group in the Discord at some point. Let's try this. Damn, that shit good. Damn it. Would it be cool to do a Discord Warhammer RPG? Want to learn, but I can't find a group. I've been thinking about doing Wrath and Glory, but I also kind of just want to like do something non-Warhammer. Because I have a Wrath and Glory campaign that I did. We stopped playing it because it got to a point where it's just like combat is so fucking boring and annoying, and Wrath and Glory is very combat heavy. For the brief moment that we did it, my players really liked it, but then it got to a point where they were like, well, I gave them a choice between them defending a planet or exterminating it, and they're like, we're just gonna blow it up. I'm like, okay. I didn't like expect them to want to fight Chaos Space Marines that were gonna come invade the world, but I also was kind of hoping that they would just like tough it out. But no, just blow up the planet. I'm like, that's understandable. And at the end of the day, it fucked them over, and I knew how I was gonna continue it, but I was also just like, I want to stop doing combat. I want to do roleplay. I don't want combat. I'm so tired of it. And there's not many role-playing rules for Wrath and Glory. Or it's not role-play focused, it's combat focused, I mean. One of my favorite sessions will always be having them go through a Space Hulk and getting chased by Gene Stealers. And then they eventually started overloading the engine on a Space Hulk, and the Patriarch showed up. It was so fun. Other games to stream. Just ate dinner. What are we talking about? I'm talking about if and when I inevitably run a TTRPG group in the Discord. Which I've said this before, and I'm gonna keep saying this because some people assume I'm gonna pick them. I'm not. I'm very fucking picky when it comes to my players. And the only person so far who has made the cut is Appo. Because I trust Appo to not be a fucking gremlin. I also feel like most people assume I'm going to do a Warhammer thing, which I'm very much considering not doing Warhammer. I'm considering doing something else, but I know Warhammer would be fun for the channel, but how does one fit the requirements? It's completely arbitrary, and it's dependent on my mood. That's how. I do like to... I know I'm not getting picked. I'm raising my hand because I want to join, but I know my ass ain't making the cut. I just have to hang out in the Discord more and get to know people. I volunteer as first on the rejection list. You're not even in the Discord, Kyle. You can't be on the rejection list. So far, there's only been like 3 people in the Discord who I've hung out with, and I'm like, nah, I would never DM for them. I would never DM for them in my entire fucking life. The main problem is that it would have to be on Sundays. And I know not everybody can make Sundays. Appo can. Depending on his schedule, but he can make it. I know Lost can usually, but he also has formation. That's exactly why I'm a perfect candidate. To be a candidate, you have to be in the Discord to begin with, so no, you're not. My work usually send this on Monday, so well, we'll see. Because this isn't gonna be like a soon thing. This is like maybe a year out. If I end up finding the time to do it. The only other problem is that if I did stream those, if I did record those games, because I could not stream them because people don't know how to shut the fuck up about certain things. I would need to get an editor for those, and I don't want to get an editor. Channel does not make enough money for editing to pay an editor. I mean, having some poor motherfucker comb through like 4 hours of a session. God. And also, I might switch jobs at some point. We'll see. I doubt it. I think I'm going to stay in my job for a bit, assuming I don't move. And even if I move, I might get the same job again, if I can. I've stayed a year out. I will be in my first duty station. Yeah, I remember you telling me that. You see, there's an odd coincidence that the only time I ended up in VC in the server is when I'm not sober. So don't do that. Thankfully, I've never had to DM for somebody who was drunk. I don't have the patience for that shit. I think I talked about this before. The one time I tried to run a second campaign, one of the players was like prone to having heart attacks. I did not start that campaign for many reasons, and that was one of them. Like, it literally told me straight up, not before we started, after we started, when we were doing the first session, just randomly dropped, yeah, I'm prone to having heart attacks, by the way. Okay, man, thanks. I appreciate that. Fucking sure. I'm glad that there's a very good chance knowing that when you're in this Discord call, you're gonna fall over dead. Hey, man, roll the hit. Bro, you there? He's fucking laying on the ground with his mouth fucking wide open and his eyes rolled in the back of his head as his body spasms. I also really just want to do, like, Hunter. Or something like that, because it's easier to do Hunter with people. Because I'm not asking people to maintain a specific type of character or an idea. I thought it was strokes. It's one of the two, heart attacks or strokes. It's the fucking same thing, dude. Hey, Dio, what did you say to me about dying in the Discord? I don't remember. Oh, yeah, it was something along the lines of, if you're about to get into a car crash, because you fucking join the Discord when you're driving. If you're about to get into a car crash, can you leave the call? Because I don't want to, one, hear the wreck, and two, I don't want the police to track it down to you die because you were talking about nerd shit with a bunch of fucking random people in a Discord call. Man got executed mid-combat IRL. He really did, though. It's like Final Fantasy or whatever JRPG it is. Yeah, you just get the Doom status effect. After 3 turns, you have a fucking stroke. The stream has derailed heavily now that I have food. God damn, everything's just falling apart. Fuck. Okay, bro. Yeah, I really want to do Hunter again. But I feel like I could just get my main group to do Hunter again because they also kind of want to do it again. But the problem is that the idea that I have for Hunter does not fit with the type of characters that they want to make. Because I think I've explained this before on stream. I want to do Hunter, but I want to do it like and I've never seen Stranger Things, but I want to do it like Stranger Things style, where it's a group of like teenagers or young adults who just deal with problems around their town that nobody else knows about. I don't want it to be, oh, you're all like grizzled old men or something like that. No, I want you to be a fucking teenager who's as concerned about as concerned about asking out a girl as you are trying to beat up a fucking werewolf with a baseball bat. Because I think that's just super fucking funny. And it leads to a lot of really funny story and roleplay moments. Like, you're playing a character who, like, you've stared down a vampire trying to fucking rip your throat out, and yet you're too much of a fucking coward to ask out a fucking volleyball player. Scooby-Doo R-rated edition. Not really Scooby-Doo, because it's not meant to be, like, comedic. Percy Jackson? No, because I have problems. I have problems with Percy Jackson. Me when I face Drifter? That's so real, bro. Because, like, I want the comedic bits to be, like, outside of the actual hunts, because it's just the juxtaposition of you're a fucking werewolf hunter, and yet you can't ask a fucking girl out. Dude, get it together. I'm begging you. Because, like, at the end of the day, it's supposed to be like, you'll never believe what I saw today. Was a Drifter down the alley telling you that you smell good? I really like that sort of idea. It's not necessarily, like, campy, because it's still very real. You're gonna have to someone might get murdered at some point, and your characters are gonna have to deal with that, because Hunter is a very deadly system when it wants to be. And there's a lot of times where you're just not gonna be able to fucking fight certain things. Scooby-Doo Mystery Van was in the back. What the fuck? A Scooby-Doo Mystery Van with the back window panel coping in a Half-Life 3 is coming. That's so insane. Yeah, the problem is that I know my players wouldn't want to make characters like that. Hunter from World of Darkness. Either Hunter the Vigil, Hunter the Reckoning, or Hunter fucking 20th Anniversary Edition. It's all the same system, just different rules. Hunter is really fun. Hunter has led to some of the best tense moments, but also Hunter was when I realized that my players are not really, like, my players don't have a lot of initiative on what they feel like doing or wanting to do, and they cannot make fucking plans to save the life for them. Sometimes I put them in a box, and sometimes it's because of the situations that I put them in. Everything becomes much more difficult, but I also just feel like they don't ever have ideas for plans. Ever. Maybe I'm wrong. Who knows? Because right now they're about to go into a fight tomorrow in D&D, and this might be a TPK. Because they decided to commit to getting loot and did not realize what they were going up against, and that's their own fault. They did not take the value proposition of what they were going to gain and compare it to what the level of threat might be. And because of that, people are probably going to get killed. It's cool. It's very fun. I just don't care for World of Darkness lore, but I really like the systems that they have. And I also had other ideas for, like, I think I talked about this before. I definitely talked about this on another stream. Because I do writing. Appo knows about this because I talked to him about it. This is when Lost was trauma dumping. It was really funny. That stream's no longer available, but I like writing, and one thing I really like writing is I like writing about, like, supernatural, like, modern day occult, urban legend type stuff. And in that setting, hell is very real, but hell is basically just a mirror of Earth, which is supposed to be a whole joke in and of itself. I remember. Hell is supposed to be a mirror of Earth, which is a whole joke in and of itself. But I liked the idea of, like, so there's, like, the demon houses, which are the 7 deadly sins, which aren't really an actual religious thing. It's popularized because of fucking Dante Alighieri. That's not the point. I like the idea of just, like, demons that all work under different houses, and they're all forced to work together, and, what is it? It basically, it's just like, what does a 9 to 5 look like for a demon? And how much it fucking sucks. Was in a bad headspace and probably shouldn't have been in VC that day. And you probably shouldn't keep mentioning it doesn't help. Yep. I know it doesn't. But yeah. I should, I don't know. I'll probably just make a video talking about like creative writing so I can talk about that again. Because that stream is not going to see the light of day. Not like anybody goes back and watches the VODs anyways, that's not the point. Yeah, I really like World of Darkness. I think the system's really fun. I just wish I had players for it that could actually function in there. And that's why I'm kind of like judging very heavily who I want to be in the RPG sessions if and when I do them. Because if somebody could tell me like, oh, I like roleplay heavy stuff, it's like, I don't fucking believe you. Because I thought my players did as well, and turns out they're combat bots. I watched the VOD for your last stream right after, that's hilarious. I want to play Hunter, but my friend group is a bunch of combat monsters. And well replayed murder hobos. So they're they're stupid for a social tabletop. And Satan refused to give me a raise, basically. Oh, why are you serving your Hellmaster? Oh, because my soul was indebted to them because of crimes I committed on Earth. Why are you serving them? Oh, I just got a raise. That's why. It's funny shit like that. 40k. Other good lord reasons for about it in Trench Crusade. I literally just like I read that sentence mentally and didn't say it out loud. In Trench Crusade, humans don't really need a reason to fight each other outside of they're just assholes. I could do some roleplay, but since I would, oh god. So usually, do D&D after work, it wasn't as great as it should be. Some people can do that, some people can't. Oh, there's the rest of the fucking magnets I just dropped. I have another friend who basically shows up after work every time we do D&D, and he's still, in my opinion, one of my star players. Why are you serving them? I got kicked down from the IRS. It's pretty good. I like that. If I lived alone, I would probably get more into D&D. I don't live alone, and I have to be the DM, so I have to do a lot of weird voices and shit sometimes. And guess what? Sometimes you just gotta get over the fact that it's embarrassing, because that's the whole fun of the game, is that no one's embarrassed by the shit. That being said, if you have, like, word salad at some point, we're gonna make fun of you. At least that's how my old group is. There's no god lore for there's no god lore reason for Trinity factions fighting each other on tabletop. The reason is that they're gonna fight each other for whatever reason. It doesn't matter. Sometimes you have an artifact that somebody likes. Sometimes it's just a shitty dispute. Sometimes you're just in somebody else's territory and they don't want you there. People will find any reason to kill each other in Trench Crusade, just like how it's the same thing in 40k. And that's the fun of the game. You don't need to make a reason. You just fight each other. Less embarrassing and not trying to disturb the peace. That's why I try to have my games at hours where people are awake, or I know they're not going to bother me. You are cringe, therefore free, basically. I had to fucking sing the fucking diggy diggy hole shit in my house. People were home. I don't care. I screamed that shit 5 times in different voices, and 3 of those voices didn't work properly because I had a filter on my voice still. I still fucking did it. Doesn't matter. Probably stop yelling so much because people are actually going to bed right around now. Do you eating ASMR to sleep? Dude, that's hilarious. I'd rather be cringe than boring, basically. There's a level to it, but there is socially acceptable cringe. And then there's you don't shower and you play Yu-Gi-Oh! There's levels to the cringe. But I do play Yu-Gi-Oh! Damn, go take a shower, bud. And tries to see, is Mecha still there? It's still, no, it's protected by sand. It's there, which is very funny. Because now Haj is on, like, hold in Trench Crusade lore. It's great. There's balance to the force. Shower's being used right now. Gotta wait, that's so unfortunate. Yeah, there's us putting together little plastic toy soldiers, and then there's just My Hero Academia fan cringe. My Hero, granted, I don't like shonen anime. I've already said this before, I'm pretty sure, a lot. I don't like shonen, but My Hero is so funny. Because the one part about My Hero I really like is fucking All Might, and I feel like there's a lot of people. What about the people on Mecha? Probably starve to death, if anything. Nobody knows, because you can't get to Mecha, because it's covered by a sandstorm. I literally just brought down my card storage, and you can hear it. You can be cringe like showering and playing Yu-Gi-Oh! I feel called out. Make sure to shower, bro. That's it. Also, it turns out I can connect my phone to this app through Wi-Fi. Not that I ever would, because I would end up showing my face, but shed stream would be funny. I'm never going to, though. Yeah, I have a friend who, when there's downtime during D&D, he will just, like, play a quick little bit of Yu-Gi-Oh! Online. If we're, like, waiting on somebody and it's gonna take a bit. Such a fucking rat. I already put a photo of you in the side chat. Yeah, I remember. There was, like, you posted some, like, Indian dude. Like, 50 shades darker than what I am in real life, but sure. I need to remember that I'm gonna try to get my gun tomorrow. That'll be fun. I didn't go out this weekend, which kind of sucks. I might not go to work on Monday if I still feel like shit. I'm feeling better now, but Hispanic. That guy was not Hispanic. That dude was from, like, Colombia, dude. Balatro is my go for long turns. It wouldn't be as annoying if I, like, it's the same two people in my group who always take the longest with their turns, and it's only down to 2 now because one person left our group. It's the same 2 people who take forever on their turns for no fucking reason. It's like, I'm gonna do the same exact set of actions that I do every time, yet I'm gonna somehow forget how to do it every single time it's my turn. Or I'm gonna look up the spell, have done 0 research on it myself, and then I'm gonna ask you 50 billion questions. And then watch as it doesn't work how it did in my head because game logic. So then I'm just gonna fucking cast Lightning Lure or something, I don't know. My players frustrate me a lot. And that's just gonna be a theme for forever. Because I am impatient at times. We got a min-maxing guy who needs to have a perfect turn and everything, we'll argue about it. I refuse to have players like that. I've had a player who, he didn't min-max a character per se, because I don't allow point buy. I make you roll your character, and if you roll like absolute shit, I give you 1 free reroll. But I have a player who made a, it was Big Whopper, I think was his name, and he was a dwarf who was able to grow in size and able to wrestle down dragons. I killed him very quickly. because I do not like people just fucking like, how do I explain this? He took a boss fight that was supposed to, the boss fight purely existed so that way they could try to get a level, and just completely nullified it with just one person. I do not like that. So I killed his character off very quickly. Me playing a Celestial Warlock with 1 minute to do my turn because I either shoot someone with Blast or I heal somebody. Basically, just know your rules. It's not hard. Especially, like, I just, like, don't give complex items to players that I have that are, like, how to explain this? Mentally low. I don't give them complex items anymore. I give the complex items to the people who have reading comprehension. This is not to say I don't give them strong items, I do. I just don't make them as complex anymore. On the short bus, basically. I had a player who unironically had to take the short bus, but that's because he was there for, like, I think he had, like, emotional therapy or something when he was younger. I don't remember. It was very funny. He would tell me that the short bus was dope. And I believe him. I'll finish the rest of this in a bit. Because I need to get back to painting. I don't know how much longer I'll be on, but I'm not doing anything tomorrow aside from maybe going to the gun store, so I should be on for a bit. Let me move chat over here so I can just look up at it rather than having to turn my head. Better. Because I have to turn my head to look at chat right now. Oh, you're done. Hold on. Over here. You're also done. Well, you're not done, but the trim is done. Where did my brush go? Where are you? And I'm so sorry. That's not where my brush is. Where the fuck did my brush go? Oh, there it is. This is it, right? I think so. My friend hit max level in Helldivers and I had to go make fun of them real quick. Responded, what did they say? We always bully our friends. It's the morally correct thing to do. You've been max level for Helldivers for a while. Take a shower, bro. Nah, that's fine. There's worse games you could have max level in. Part of me also really needs to, like, find a gaming group where I can be a player, finally. It's kind of draining being the guy who's always in charge of everything. I go to bed. Good night. See you, man. Like I'm too autistic in my opinion to be a player because I don't want to like not have control over things, but also at the same time I feel like not having control is probably what's gonna let me have fun. This is a man who hates to give up control. That's exactly my point. I feel like if I'm allowed to not have control over something, I might actually be able to relax. But none of my players are ever going to DM, so. Those member models. These are the nameplates, not the actual members models. Like, lost. Hold on. See, it says you can't really read it, but. I should be able to read it. Never lost, man. It's kind of funny because like I hate giving up control. If possible, I want my trader aggressive spawn fest. That's a anniversary model thing. Not a this thing. Your nameplate goes wherever I put your nameplate. Are the nameplates something you printed attached to an existing base, or is the whole base printed like that? No, I attach it. So here, I have a unpainted one right now. So it's not easy to look at it, but like this is what they look like. They're literally just that. It's just a little round thing that you take, and let's go ahead and say this is a guardsman, or not a guardsman. This is a Terminator because it's the same base size, and they literally glue it onto the base room like that. That's all it is. I got like a big file that has like almost every base size you could need, and it's a Blender file with a bunch of different stuff you can put on it. But I try not to complicate it. What happened to Kitty? He's just not here. He's Polish. Probably barely waking up, but I think he works like a night shift on shit or something. I don't know. So he's in the Discord at weird times. Usually when no one else is on. I know I need to get some of those mini minis. I have one for my normal Dio, but I don't know where he is right now. Oh, he's right here. Of course, with Diodium. I'm supposed to put one on everyone's bases, but I just haven't done it yet. The main characters, I mean, at least specifically. Don't make you paint with your soda. It's not good for the model. Thanks, bro. Really appreciate it. Fuck you. Why is it in the green? What, his eyes? His night vision. Where the fuck is my gold? I just had it. Losing my goddamn mind. It's right here. It's literally right in front of me. And none of you told me that. Coffee go bully me in hobby and painting. I will say, I'm not trying to talk shit to some people, but I don't even think anybody here, actually. Some of you motherfuckers need to learn how to thin your paints. I've seen like 2 paint jobs so far with like thick brush stroke lines because they have not thinned their paints. I forgot who it was, but somebody asked, do you thin your paints? I think it was Felix who said afterwards, I didn't want to say that because I feel like an asshole. Oh no, it was Felix who said that, I'm pretty sure. Let me go look. Yeah, Felix said, do you think your paints at all? He said, I feel like a dick. That shit was funny. You know, he's painting like white with like a like no thinning. It's so fucked up. They say thin your paints for a reason. I know I need to thin them better. You learn with time. That's the thing I tell people all the time. It's like your first models are gonna look like dog ass probably, but you will eventually learn, and that's the point of painting, is that you end up learning. Because guess what? If a model is really that fucked up from how you painted it and you hate it, you could always fucking strip them, and you could just redo them. I've stripped one model like 4 fucking times. I had a Perturabo model that I was using for Vastor. I stripped him. I ended up dropping him so he shattered everywhere because he was made out of resin, but, you know. If you really ever hate a model truly that much, you can always strip it. Sometimes I overthin. Overthinning is I don't know how people do that. Aside from, like, the only time I've overthinned something is, like, for an airbrush. And I made it too watery and it starts spattering everywhere. Adding highlights and such. I'm gonna be real, man. I don't understand people who do highlights. Like, there's natural highlighting, which I understand. But then there's just, like, the people who, like, edge highlight and do a bunch of other shit, and I hate that. But, you know, whatever. Perturabo's returned to you, killed him. I really did. I dropped the shit out of him, and he fucking broke. I think there's a piece of him still at my old house. So someone's gonna end up stepping on a demon spike at some point. My dad's old models on a nightstand. Sometimes it looks like ass, which reminds me of how my dad, a pro painter, started not good. I still have some of my old minis. I showed them before, but like two variations of the same character. How it's going. Okay, God damn it. How it's going and how it started. It's a very clear difference in quality. Painting just takes time. And that was like a year of painting. Like on and off. Not even like fully. Like painting every weekend or something like that. That was a year of painting. Well, I'll just do display model. Hell yeah, brother. Like, outside of, like, me learning how to highlight stuff, which I don't have any interest in doing that, because I think highlighting looks ugly sometimes. Depending on how you do it. Outside of me learning how to highlight things properly, finally, I think the only other thing I need to learn is, like, sculpting. Because right now I know how to do glows, I just need to refine it. That was, like, the big thing I wanted to learn. You have to thin your paints, so the consistency of milk. No one knows what that fucking means. Thin your paints until it's, like it just goes on nicely and doesn't look thick. It's different for every paint. I want to at least learn to highlight the characters and vehicles. Standing average, you can just be normal. It's to a point where, like, depending on what it is that you're trying to do, having basic painting for an entire army, the army still looks good. Because I've said this before. I don't care if you own a golden demon. I own a fucking painted army, which is more valuable than probably any skill that you have. I'm not saying you specifically. I'm saying, like, you as in, like, theoretical people. People who are obsessed with painting competitions and golden demon and stuff like that. The only person who has everything above me is Vince Venturella, because he's a fucking machine. Vince V, the fucking painting wizard. I find mill putting green stuff is better to sculpt with. Yes. Mill putting green stuff, mixing it together, gives you literally the best of both products. Which is probably, if I tried to learn sculpting, what I'm going to do. Because the only other thing I would learn aside from sculpting is just like 3D design. But I don't have the patience to use Blender. Did I paint the gold on this edge? Yes, I did. Real quick. For me, have a good night. Oh, Jesus Christ, go to bed. Yeah, holy shit. Good night. Post my rubrics more tomorrow. Good. Do it. Rubrics are fun. And I'm glad I already painted 20 of them, so I can't paint anymore. And I'm never playing Thousand Suns. Fuck that. Every time I look, there's more fucking gold to do. And I'm losing my mind. It's less trim than normal fucking Chaos Terminators, though, thank God. I cannot imagine doing a Helldrake. Hey, that reminds me of another thing. Because I'm planning on playing Star Wars Legion. There's this one vehicle in it. It's like a transport. I don't know if you've ever seen it, but it's like the transports, like the police cruisers that they have on like Coruscant, where it's like I can only describe it as like a giant evil bee. I don't know what you would call it, but I hate that thing so fucking much that I genuinely thought about just like 3D printing a TIE fighter and just using that as a transport. Even though I know there's far better ships that you could use for that. Speaking of transports, Horus Heresy, you're able to just take termite drills. And they have Melta guns on them, and Melta in that game is actually good, so that's very fun. It's probably sleep night. See you, brother. I don't think I'm going to be on for that much longer. It's about to hit midnight. Rip Hades Breaching Drill. I don't think they have that anymore in Horus Heresy either. I think that was just a 40k thing, which sucks. Yeah, the Hades Breaching Drill was funny. I had this, when I was playing guard, or thinking about playing guard, I had this idea of 20-man squad of, I think you could only take it with Death Creek. I don't know. I think it was just Astra Militarum in general, but I think it was 20-man squad of Catachan with the Primaris Psyker. So you jump out with a Hades Breaching Drill, get 4-up invulns against shooting if someone tries to kill you. And then you just charge them with 20 Catachan and beat them to death. It's a very funny idea. And then the Breaching Drill is gone. The Legend's probably gone next edition. Yeah, because I don't even think the Hades Breaching Drill... Let me go check YAAAAAAAAAAAY, actually. I'm gonna hit the Hades with Transistor Artillery while wearing a cowboy. Yeah, hell yeah, brother. Let me go over to YAAAAAAAAAAAY. The keyboard is too far away from me. Give me a second. Because Horus Heresy is finally on YAAAAAAAAAY. Never mind, only Legion of Astartes is on YAAAAAAAAAY. They don't even have, what's it called? They don't have, what the fuck are they called? Solar Auxilia. Kinda cringe. Not gonna lie, kinda cringe. Kind of funny because it was like a whole thing. It was like, oh, Horus Heresy 3rd Edition is going to be on YAAAAAAAAY in a few days, and then it's only Legiones Astartes. So I can't even look at my Mechanicum rules. I'm glad YAAAAAAAAAY exists, but fuck, it takes forever to update, dude. It's to a point where there's like virtually no reason for me to just not buy the books with how long they take. What do you do? Alright, the helmet. Probably get started on finally doing the script for the next Trench Crusade video. I need to prep easy videos to do for when I'm going to be busy some weeks. More slop for the slop farm. Only 7 more to go. Fuck my life. Oh, god damn it. Pain. Pain and misery. Agony, even. Probably also just stop painting my army so late into the fucking day. That'd probably be helpful too, huh? Be a grifter at that point? What the fuck are you talking about? What? How far back are you and me talking? I'm confused. What are you referring to? God, grifter has to be one of the stupidest fucking words I've ever heard in my entire life. English is already a fucked up language. Now we just have people just making it even worse somehow. Everything has to have a weird fucking nickname for something. Part of me is tempted to go to a local gas station and go buy energy drinks. No, I shouldn't. I really shouldn't, honestly, but I don't want to. 2 models done, so that's good. Hell yeah, brother. I usually try to get 1 model done when I sit down to paint. Sometimes that's not doable. I've gotten better at painting characters more than anything, but that's also because I kind of just paint my characters like normal guys, and then I try to do something spicy for them, either in terms of the model or in terms of painting. Studying linguistics is all fun and games until you get to English, and then you spend 5 hours explaining to a conspiracy bro on TikTok the origins of the word Easter. God, the English language is so fucked up. At least we can blame the Germans for it. Dude, Old English is the most fucked up language I think I've ever seen in my entire life, which is funny because it's just German. Might end stream soon and then just try to crank out all these as fast as I can before I go to bed. We'll see. I'm still chilling for now. Will you ever think of doing any kit bashes like Lich's Laboratory? I have no idea who Lich's Laboratory is. However, I mean, I do kit bashes, like... bit of dust on him because he's been out for too long. I love doing kit bashes. It wasn't obvious. I do, because, like, I basically have the entirety of the inner circle done. And the only thing I need to do left is... oh, here's another kit bash. This is, like, so simple, but it's honestly one of my favorites. Dual blade, wrist-mounted, silenced bolt gun, storm bolter. Really love this. But basically, I have all the inner circle done for the tower. It's just basically me waiting for anniversary models and then people's ideas to start making stuff with them. Because otherwise, I just make stuff like this. Speaking of which, let me get some more of that yellow pigment powder in there before I forget. Stuff is actually pretty cool. I forget, this is an enamel paint, so I probably shouldn't be. Dead versus third founding chapters and more obscure ones, gotcha. Yeah, gonna be honest, never heard of them. It's funny because I'm probably subscribed to them, because I just like subscribe to random channels that do hobby stuff. Oh, that should dry again. Really should stop mixing enamels with my actual paint water. It's probably not good for it. Right, yeah, no, kind of. I don't remember if I do the actual side. Good. You know, I mean, if I kit bash anything, it's going to be for my army. I don't really feel like doing kit bashes for like random stuff. I'm not a display painter. I like having my army be done. I very rarely buy models for like one-off things, and if I do buy them for a one-off thing, I'll eventually incorporate them into my army somehow. Like I have a Drakari model, and I'm probably gonna run her as like a Master of Executions or something. Currently, she's technically the only Drukhari at the Broken Tower as well. But that's lore stuff that I need to make the video on. I had an idea for trying to. So I've talked about it and I've sent it to somebody, Appo, because he plays Emperor's Children. But somebody did a pin-up female Fulgrim on the side of their Land Raider at one point, and I kind of wanted to do a thing like that, but on a Sister of Battles, whichever the tank has like the stained glass bulletproof shield. And I tried ordering that through my shop, and I told them to order it. And they said they'll order it, and then a month passed, and they never ordered it. So that was kind of the last straw of me trying to order stuff from my shop at that point. If they don't have anything on the shelves, I just never buy anything there. That time they did, because they had Stormtroopers. The Imperial starter set for the new edition of Legion. So shit, I want to play Song of Ice and Fire more too, but nobody fucking at my shop plays it. I had like 2 people in my group who got into it, and one of them is always busy and can never play, and then the other one, he just wants to play 40k pretty much. Now he wants to play Horse Heresy, which is great. Because I've been wanting to play other shit with him. And he's too opinionated to play Trench Crusade with. He's also not a big fan of it, though. Which I don't blame him. I said this before, if you just don't like something, that's fine. If you had a Canuck VAR model, what would you do with it? I don't know. That's the thing. So, like, I tried ordering that, too, and then they never fucking got one for me. I don't know what I would do with Canuck VAR, because, like, he's such a boring pose. I like his weapon. He's like a Kanabo. But that's about it. It's one of those things where it's like a model's pose can be so boring that you literally don't know what to do with it. Thankfully, tying back to this guy, first off, he's a Fallout Kid Bash from Pete the Wargamer. Thankfully, I knew though, like when he had his foot raised foot, I didn't want to put a rock there. I wanted him to be standing on top of his hammer. He bends the hammer because of it, but I really liked how he looked, and I wanted to replace the arm with an aggressor arm because I thought that looks cooler, with like the bolt gun and then the clip hanging off to the side. All this other shit. Why isn't that focusing? Stop it. And there's some stuff here that I just didn't shave off. Like I didn't shave off the little relic because I always thought him holding onto the relic was kind of funny. It's just like an insult. Yeah. There's some characters who just have genuinely boring poses, and I don't do anything with them. I have my chapter master. He's based off of Tor Garadon. I never bring him out because his hand's broken, and I need to replace that. But that's besides the point. And then I have Mephiston, and so on and so forth. I've always wanted to attempt Canucks to be positioned like the Judicar sword. Or he's holding it over his shoulder, his Kanabo. Yeah, that'd be cool. It'd be cooler to just like have him. I don't know if you play For Honor, but have him in like the Shigoki top stance where he has it like slung across his shoulders, and he's in like a wide stance, looks like he's ready to fuck someone's shit up. That'd be fun. But you have to find another model that has a stance wide enough to do that. That would probably be a Terminator, honestly. Make that a Terminator Lord, give him a Kanabo. That's actually perfect, the more that I think about it. Canuck Vaughn, because he's a Terminator model anyways, Canuck Vaughn is a very boring model, but he has so many cool pieces on him. I really want to get that, I want to get that fucking, the Praetor for the Iron Hands in 30k, because that model is really sick, but I'm pretty sure depending on what Lost says, because he's talked about his the model, the anniversary model he wants me to make of him. I'm pretty sure I would base it off of that model because his thing is a warp smith with a bunch of mechadendrites who's from the Iron Hands, so that would probably work out. And it's a very inoffensive model. Does the Kenric Von have a bionic leg? I'm pretty sure it does. He's a fucking Iron Hands. There's no way he doesn't. I think he's the only Terminator with a bionic leg, if that's the case. It's pretty cool. I keep calling him Kenric Von, and it's Kenric Var. Who gives a shit? It's a fucking Iron Hands character. It's funny, I have lead belcher spray, and the label on it was falling off. And then for a brief moment in my head, I was like, how am I gonna know it's lead belcher spray? That's probably how. It's a very funny moment for me. He does? Awesome. Probably use that for something else. I think the model could be easily changed with the pose because his legs aren't attached. I don't know how the model's attached, or how the model's built. I never go off of how the model is built. I go off of how it looks fully put together. Sometimes I look at the sprue if I'm trying to do something invasive. Like, I knew, here we go. Like, I knew I could get it, like, I could get away with putting the Warpsmith's foot here because I know the foot is like detached. Or is it that foot or is it the other foot? It's this foot. Foot is like detached, or the legs right here. Which, I mean, you can kind of see his knee is like kind of floating off of it, but it's fine. It looks good. You're looking at the angle that you're supposed to. So I'm pretty sure, did I use that leg on him? I don't think I did. I think I just used the, yeah, I just used the knee pad, or I used this knee pad. Which worked perfectly. I think both his arms are bionic. Brother, is there anything human left on him? Holy shit. Oh my god. His right leg. Seems factor is very difficult to do. It is. I also need to get like proper sanding sticks for hobbying, because I have sanding sticks, but they're not meant for hobbying at all. It's like actual nail files, not nail files, like actual like industrial files. I mean. I need to find a way to get this camera to sit without me bumping into it constantly. Just keep fucking tapping it when I move my brush. Get some Gundam sanders, dude? No. Just because you told me to. No. It was kind of interesting doing the kit bash for Bacillon when I got the con model, because I didn't know how the sprue was going to look. And thankfully it all worked out in the end. Vibe modeling, basically, is what it was. Posted? Alright, let me go look at it. Ah, I see. This sprue is like, there's a lot of parts that are detached. Wow. The shin armor, the thigh armor, arms are fully detached, the legs are fully detached, his torso is in two pieces. The The Kanabo is completely by itself, and you can honestly just shave off most of that. That's not a bad model for kit bashing. Even his breastplate's detached. What the fuck? That's so weird. His fucking storm bolters in 2 halves. That pisses me off. I'm pretty sure that's how storm bolters usually are. That's how Kabu bolters are. I hope they buff Primaris Sector, but they won't. They won't. Yeah. You're not Space Marines, bro. You're not getting buffs. You're in the 41st millennium. It's not safe for you here. I'm kind of interested to see what people ask when I get around to anniversary models. That'll be very fun. Kanikvar was the first one to fall asleep at the Adnex sleepover. One of the reasons I like it is because it reminds me of ATT. ATT. What are you talking about? Attached lore of the Fire Mages of Fame. What the fuck are you talking about? So flexible sanders. Yeah, I know a lot of people use those. I just don't kit bash enough to where I need flexible sanders. I usually just cut away too much and then use green stuff. I'll just say if you buy Var for the cool Terminator body, you do get his... Yeah, you get servo. He gets 2 cool servo skulls. Servo skulls are one of the things that I want more of in 40k. I just want a sprue of servo skulls because nobody like makes good 3D prints for servo skulls. Like Station Forge has some, but they're not what I want. They're not actual servo skulls that are floaty with the wire hanging off of them. A lot of them are like have like legs and shit, which are cool for different reasons, but it's not what I want. Like, I want on my giant Asterius Nidacastus, I wanted to put servo skulls all around him. There's not really a lot of good servo skull files. And I'm saying good files, not just like ones that look like they could pass for 40k, because servo skulls are very protected, as much as Space Marines I think are. So not a lot of people can get away with them. In Warhammer Fantasy, Fire Mages are sometimes attached to Empire regiments. Yeah. Probably one of my champions I'll make, one apothecary, and then make a couple for another dude. I just find it funny that the servo skulls are literally just named left and right. Really, that's so funny. So imaginative for an Iron Hand. Breaking news: an Iron Hand names his servo skulls. What does he name them? Left and right. Why do apothecaries don't have servo skulls? I don't think apothecaries would necessarily need a servo skull. Servo skulls are usually used for like minor tasks. The apothecary's task is very complicated, and only an apothecary is entrusted with retrieving gene seed. So it's not like you could automate that service to a servo skull. Theoretically, you could, but it's a whole honor and tradition bullshit thing. Dextrum and Sinistrus. Those are better names. I like that. And then Iron Hand successors, nice. I love that in Crucible Champions you can make a Dreadnought Apothecary, but also can't do anything Apothecary related. Yeah, because he's not attached to a unit. Narthesium used to give a Feel No Pain. Now it doesn't anymore. Now it's just bring back a model. Literally can't do anything with it. That's why they have Servo Men. And here's my other thing that I think I forgot to ask. Can you put enhancements on a Crucible of Champions or no? Because I don't know. I don't think I ever got that question answered. No. Okay, gotcha. All right, so I cannot do my 28-inch threat range Disco Lord. Gotcha. Yes, I know. See, realistically, a Servo Skull could help, but once again, it is a tradition thing. Only an Apothecary is allowed to retrieve Gene Seed. It's not. Oh, you're what you're saying could literally get you shot in Warhammer. It's not the point. The point is that it's a traditional thing for Apothecaries. Only Apothecaries are allowed to retrieve Gene Seed. They're literally trained and brought into a fucking... basically a minor order in order to do so. Not just anybody is allowed to retrieve the Gene Seed. Which is why it's not relegated to machines. Because that is also considered innovation. Ape. So Apothecaries only get Stunt Gun as a weapon. I love the Biologist model so much. He just pulls out the gat and just starts gunning motherfuckers down. It's so fun. Oh, you're talking about the normal Apothecaries where they get like the fucking... They have like an insta-kill gun or some shit, right? So funny. Yeah, the reductor pistol. Yeah. So funny. Just fucking deletes a Space Marine. Yeah, it's 3-inch range. It's 3-inch range because it's supposed to imitate a smooth bore or some shit. I don't fucking know. Yeah, -4 AP. It can. To one of my friends. Actually, let's do Apo. flake on the base that got stuck. I do not have my knife anywhere. Screw cutters. It's meant to piece of armor, so it's better penetrate. Well, that's fucking crazy. Who would have seen that coming? The gun with high armor penetration is able to pierce armor better? What? Say it ain't so. My anti-material round goes through material. I love fucking anti-tank rivals in Trench Crusade, dude. That shit's so funny. One of my favorite things is the fact that you can have fucking in Trench Ghosts, you can get a your heretic priest on a tank palanquin, which basically he's on a tiny like light tank, and you can give him an anti-tank rifle, and if he's literally like on top of like trench or no man's land, he's literally just blasting motherfuckers with like a with a 40mm gun, and he's so tanky that you have like a 1 in 36 chance of killing him. Even if you do kill him, he only gets downed and then he gets back up. Don't balls just have depleted uranium inside of them? Probably. Some shit like that. Bolters are like rated like all like anti-material, and then they explode because they're like 75 cal or something. Where's my knife? There's a bit here that's pissing me off. Where is my knife? I'm actually kind of worried now that I don't know where it is, because that means there's just a knife somewhere in my room. Huh. Size of a soda can. Yeah, it's like the size of like a tall monster. Like a Red Bull, I think. I want to see a Space Marine one-hand in MG42. I don't know why, but I really do. Probably because you've been watching Morningstar. I fucking subscribe to their channel and I get fucking bombarded with like 50 like shorts. Jesus Christ, man. Just finished the project, it's okay. Also probably because you like Jinro. I have no clue what that is. I hate you. Okay. Morningstar is heavy quotations, not Astartes. It's still really good. I don't know if you've seen it, but there's like there's a clip out there of like what I can only describe as like a Sangheili elite going over to a Space Marine, and the Space Marine has a claymore strapped to his chest, and he just fucking detonates it. It's very Astartes and Halo inspired. It is in its own universe, though. It's not just 40k, despite how it looks. It looks okay. I'm kind of just hoping that they actually commit with finishing the project and it doesn't become something that gets shelved and eventually just abandoned. Was that a meme from season 2 of Fallout? I haven't watched season 2 of Fallout. I've already been spoiled a shit ton, but you know, still haven't watched it. I will go ahead and say I did soy jack when I saw the clip of the NCR Rangers doing the NCR Ranger thing, and I will leave it at that. I pointed at the screen and everything because I've seen the clips. Which reminds me of Fallout Enclave. Kinda, yeah. It reminds me of Jinro a lot, except like they're actually superhuman and not just like mentally disturbed individuals. According to Japan and Korea, if you like lose your humanity, you become like a fucking superhuman or something. Oh my god, that reminds me. Do you guys know Steven Seagal? Fucking weirdo. Apparently Steven Seagal found a way to make an entire movie where he's just sitting down. And my friend told me about this, and it was the most fucking batshit insane thing I've ever seen in my entire life, and I started dying. Because he showed me clips of it when we hanged out. I was losing my fucking mind. I really like the design of the Marines in Morningstar. Once again, I'm just kind of hoping that they actually do something with the project. I think they're making miniatures of it, which is kind of cool, if you're into that. I'm not, frankly. Isn't he in Russia? Steven Seagal, the guy making Morningstar. I'm pretty sure the people making Morningstar are from Russia, yes. Or some fucking Slavic Baltic state. That fucking hellhole of a part of the world. Where they all look the fuck... It sounds racist, actually. I was gonna say where they all look the same. I meant the countries, not the people. that sounded way worse than I thought it was going to. Every Baltic state looks the same. I only know which one Ukraine is because it's the biggest one. That isn't Russia, because Russia's not part of the Baltic states. You know, I ran out of gold paint, and because all this is like dried up, and it is about to be 1 a.m. I think I'm gonna call it here. I gotta wake up and go to the gun store tomorrow. So, successful stream once again, and I feel like a corpse. When am I gonna stream again? I know I'm going to be on, if you're in the Discord, I'm going to be in the Discord. I'm going to try to do a game night on Thursday when Tech Marine comes out, because I want to play Tech Marine against everybody in PvP. It'll be very fun. I would kit bash an Ogre Bodyguard as the Quill and Shield Custodians would be cool. Thinking about that, it would be pretty neat. I always thought about doing that too. But because I want to, if and when I do it, I want to do Trader Guard. I'm just going to kit bash a Space Marine to be, what's it called? Ogre Bodyguard, but yeah. I'll see y'all later. Good night.